I'll start the recording for right now. That way we have this for YouTube. Um, for those here right now, welcome in. We're doing a quick charting slash overview of how to chart stuff with Pat, and then right after that, we'll go on to Flow. Um, you guys can always post any stocks you want him to check. He'll run through the basics of stuff first. This will also be on YouTube. That way, if people do end up missing it or can't really look at it, they have the opportunity to do that as well. But always live is a good way to find out stuff. So we'll start with that, and we'll wait. We'll give it another. What time is it? Another 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes we'll start the full send on this. So,
Good.
what's up, Swips? We
Man,
got
these things
Mowgli
are
in here
really.
too. And we got Bloodhound. I know me and Swips kind of
Uh,
had a brutal morning this morning. Amazon kind of really messed me up, for sure.
you can't win them all, you know.
No.
Dude, I had it even fucking worse. I had a great scalp on SPY, and then I misread the chart, the signal, and I went with puts right before it ripped to six, you know, like $3 up. So I gave up all the gains, but now it's all right. It's come back down.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I was just discussing with Jay Z. I don't know if we're gonna get under this 4 hour 200 MA, but new candle just started. If they want to do it, closing session's the way to do it.
Yeah. Is there any way you can make that
Yeah, I'm
bigger?
gonna
Okay,
upsize.
perfect. Sweet.
Yeah, I am gonna upsize once we get into it. But
Sweet.
for now, I'm still watching all this flow and whatnot too.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Flow as well for ER and other stuff. I mean, Flow has been really dead for the most part. I haven't seen much craziness today because I like somebody said it earlier. Feels like everybody's on vacation right now, so that's something that's probably happening. Definitely, we'll see some stuff pick up on Monday though. I think they're probably anticipating something over the weekend too. I'd be interested to see what populates for Spy. Sounds good, Mowgli. I'll see you in a little bit. I'll be interested to see what populates in Spy on Monday as well. Sorry, not Monday. Towards the end of the day today to see what comes in for, like all the stuff that like puts in calls. Right, I'm definitely gonna be interested in seeing what comes in. That way we can kind of have a gist of what's gonna take place. So that is that. What time is it? Honestly, we can start. People will start trickling in. This is getting recorded anyway. So I mean, it is a Friday. I feel like
Go
people are
ahead and
still
start moving
technically
it.
at work, right? So
So,
we'll start the recording, and I will do this.
dragons.
I will close. Perfect.
All right.
All right, guys. First and
Just a little
foremost,
better.
welcome this stream. Yeah, nothing said on this stream is financial advice. Just so let everybody know. So Pat's gonna start off with some basics on charting and stuff. If you guys have anything you guys want him to look at later on, any questions, please just type it in the comments there, and we'll go from there. Okay? Sounds good. It's all you, Pat. Thank you, sir.
All right, so Spy's actually given a pretty good setup to give a couple of examples off of. First thing I'm going to run through is just a basic crash course on, finding support, resistance, setting trend lines, real basic stuff. But just in case anybody doesn't know how to do those things, we'll start with that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab myself a line tool. Awesome. So when you're looking for support and resistance levels, right, you're going to want to find areas where the price tends to stay or bounce a lot. So for instance, just off a quick glance, we can see there's a lot of action around 620. Mostly a support, dragged up to it. Right about here, you see it stops and then breaks over high, starts to drop back down. And from there, they tested from the 3rd to the 16th it took to leave that level. So let's zoom in a little bit. We see the initial 620 level is here. Let's drop it flat. Move up, break over. Now, when you're seeing, price come down, bounce over and over, these are all good buy points if it's going to stay on. And obviously, you want to find your top of range as well, so we can just make one here. So you find your first high above the level. Then you find the next low, and that's where you'll find your levels. You start pushing up through here, and actually, yeah, it's pretty. Things like this, it's like it's almost weird for me to try and give a breakdown on. It feels so like natural. But I feel like that's a quick little support resistance thing, and you can find these on any chart, any time frame. So you can take it to the 1 day just today. We'll see 624 is an interesting level here. Came into some slowing down before, or actually at open. Once it broke it, straight shot. Oh my. Hello? Zoom? Sorry, 1 moment. Chart just totally. All right. So we do the same with 624. You see, you got a good level there. And about 621.30-ish today seems to be it. We'll just draw it rough. You see, they're not able to do much above it, with 625 acting as a very hard place to break. Remember, we've been trading here for a couple days. It's been bouncing all over that 625 for the last, what was it we were looking at before? Back here, whole bunch of action at 625. And you can use these as just buys, sells. Or you can obviously look for breakouts. Moving forward, we'll look for some trend lines. Very simple thing to set up as well, but I want to do it like the 5 minute. It's a little bit easier. So we'll find ourselves a high. I guess we'll go with that one. Why not? It's a bit steep, but we can do it. I like that area for now. So you'll want to start with, to just make them basically, you'll want to start with the highest high if you're looking for a downtrend, and then you'll want it to actually match up with the next highest. So we can just go with that, and on TOS they actually have an ability to just extend it over. You have a base trend there, obviously didn't really hold to it because it got steep after. If you find areas where things are actually happening, say maybe here to here, looks pretty solid still. If you go off these highs instead, that's kind of inaccurate. It's a really steep area to try and do. We're going to do it on daily instead. This is a little more stable to set up a trend line. So I'll work with an uptrend. Yeah. We'll go off the low. Look for the next gapped out low. You see that a strong uptrend here, that it stayed rising along, retested, moved up, and then eventually kind of fell out. And for that next area, that's still the same trend. I'll just get it to here and extend it actually. Extend feature, please. Thank you. With that pulled up, we can actually see right where we're at with it. Apologize for my extra clicking around. It has been a while since I used my desktop setup. Now, so we've actually held this trend. This is what we've been fighting on here for the last couple days, right up until we started this back movement. And that trend has lasted pretty much since the bottom, after that first retest. Like the large trend, break down, move forward. I must have hit these are all red lines. And just let me clear these drawings. Does anybody have any questions related to any charting stuff? I'm still pretty south, and that's all basic stuff.
Swips, Bloodhound,
Alright.
you guys got anything? If you guys have anything, just type it in there. If there's something you guys maybe do differently and you want a little bit more clarification, you guys can also type in there, right? So just heads up on those too.
Yeah, really, this is just a crash course in case somebody doesn't know basics there, and that can definitely be explained better. But I know that I've typed out lessons on that multiple times, so I'm sure I can just forward that over to Jay Z, and he can put it somewhere for anybody that needs a really advanced breakdown. But overall, it's pretty simple stuff, trends and support resistance. It's one of the first things most people learn when charting.
There you go. Swips is basically brand new technical analysis, so that's a good. You gave me a good crash course for him, so it's definitely helpful. And he's also interested in what write ups you got. So what I'll do, probably Pat, is I'll also make a little bit of a channel, I guess, where there's like TA or like write ups from you guys, and then you can just we can just post it in there too. That way, people can have all access to that. Okay.
Sounds good. All right, Swift, so I'll make sure that write up makes its way to you. All right. So I'm going to move
Cheers,
into
man.
something a little. What's up?
I just said cheers, man.
Uh,
Keep going.
yeah, no, I got you. So I'm going to move into something a little more advanced now, which is just the way that I trade. I use a pretty simple setup. I've actually seen people say this is ridiculous. No way. But it was given to me by a friend of mine who works with a lot of large money, and this is what he said they used. So I was like, okay, now many years later, it is all I use. So I live on it. And that setup is just 5 MAs. I'll actually go ahead and open it up so that it's pretty easy to see real quick if it lets me do it the way I want to. I might try to open it in a separate page though. Yeah, it opens it on a separate page. All right, I'm going to write this down in chat just so that anybody who's here can find it. I'm using all simple moving averages. It is the 9 MA, the 50 MA, the 100 MA, the 150 MA, and the 200 MA. And I have their keyboard. Can we put the right character? Thank you. Nah, I ain't worried about that. This is a fucking empty account anyway. I wouldn't be pulling up that stuff on here. But thank you. If it did matter, I'd be worried about it. But I probably have a big 16 cents in this one. There's a couple up there.
That's how
I
much.
don't
That's
mind
how
if
much
people
I got
want
in
to go
my
check my
account.
trade. But yeah, I ain't worried about that. I'm a very transparent person when it comes to that kind of stuff. People got questions about that or want to go try to stalk my trades, go right ahead. All right. But so with that MA setup, let's go ahead and pull it up to the daily real. Actually, I'll go ahead and pull up the 4 hours. That's been running really good over these last couple months. So with these moving averages, what a simple moving average is it is quite literally just the average price of the amount of candles within the time frame. So if we're looking at, I'm actually going to switch to a 1 hour because it's easier for numbers in this explanation. So if we're looking at a 1 hour chart, the 9 moving average just means that in the last 9 hours, the average price is X. So right now, the average price of the last 9 hours is 623.81 on SPY. So if we were to take the last 9 hours and look at the close of each candle and then average those, that would come out to that. Same goes for the 50. It's just the last 50 hours, 100 hours, 150 hours, 200 hours, etc. Now, obviously, as you move around time frames, that changes. So if you go to a 1 minute chart, now we're talking about 50 minutes, 9 minutes, 200 minutes, etc. Or days, 50 days, 9 days. You guys get the point. Now, when you're using this, you can, a lot of people, especially the big money, they use this as a indicator to kind of look at it and go, okay, well, I'm going to be holding this for, say, a year. Okay, well, if I'm going to look at this for a year, what's the average price over 200 days? Oh, well, right now it's 588.45. So one might think it's a bit overbought, which is why a lot of us here are expecting correction. Now, the 50 is honestly most likely where they'll bounce it. Most trades are not going to be sitting there unattended for over a year. Most of the time, it might go a month, 3 months. They like to trade quarterly, it seems. So it seems that the 50 on the daily tends to have a lot of traction normally. Granted, when big things like this Trump tariff stuff come in, that all kinds of gets busted. And that's where you start looking at bigger time frames, such as the weekly. When big moves happen, you need a bigger time frame. Whereas scalping and stuff, 1 minute, 5 minute, all day. And you'll notice that 9 times out of 10, if there's a target to attain on these MAs, it'll almost always fill. Very rare that the MAs don't get reached. Either the MA is going to catch up to the candles or the candles are going to head to the MA. So like me right now, if I was trading, which I'm not going to take anything because I normally just scalp, but if I was looking at maybe picking something up, assuming that we break under 620, which is just a nice flat support level that we were talking about in the little crash course. If we break under there, we got perfect space down to 611.27. I would probably be taking a short, most likely Monday, honestly. If we break down, I'm going to take something aiming for that area. But we'll see when we get there. Right now, we still have the 4-hour to crack. One time frame up, sitting right there on it. Which, go figure, lines up with that nice flat support. And that's why, I don't know if any of you guys caught my message this morning, but when I first took a look at the market, all I could do was laugh. Because these MAs, they always find a way to fill. Market makers love to paint them some pictures. This is one thing I like to point out to some people. Even with this strategy, over the course of like world events, where we at? Looking this 1 year. Yeah, it's still 1 year. Let me get time frame, all years, please. Thank you. Okay. Even in major world events, such as COVID drop, actually managed to shatter the weekly, but it bounced off of the. Oh, does that not? Why is it not saved in here? Monthly, please. World events go to the month. Sorry. Even COVID managed to bounce right off the 100. Biden's recession straight to the 50. Trump's tariffs are actually the first one I've seen in a very long time that didn't fully fill the target. But it was about $10 off, it looks like. Let's see the exact gap. The low on that candle was 481 and it was at 467. So like $13, which when you're talking about a 100+ point drop, that's manageable space. But the point that I'm making is that these moving averages tend to be revisited pretty often. So whenever you start to wonder, okay, well, all my trend lines have broken, what should I be looking for? My answer is always going to be the moving averages. You use your trend lines as your basis. Obviously there was a clear uptrend here. Don't even really got to draw it to see it. Clearly it then slowed down right about here. Then you see a flatten out, retest, move up, start to slowly trend up. You could probably draw a little trend line right there even. But for me, the 9 moving average kind of handles that. That's why I like the 9 number. Kind of just builds its own trend lines in there. Just check the chat, see the paper comment. Also, I don't know how many thinkorswim users there are here, but I did come across an interesting feature that I kind of touched on earlier. There's this auto pattern drawing machine. And you can also just have it make you channels. So if I go ahead and add the channel up feature and apply it, I don't know if you guys could see me doing that, but it's this button here, and then it opens in a separate tab. Now it'll automatically draw me all kinds of channels that apply. So I'm sure you can refine this tool to actually use better, but I literally just started playing with it like an hour ago. But AI is around, algorithms are around, most of the charting work can be done automatically. So that's a handy thing. I'm not sure if all exchanges offer features like that, but if you're on thinkorswim, pattern analysis tool, pretty cool.
Just over there too. I know that Grok, if you have the upgrade version of Grok does a chart for you as well. So which is pretty cool. It's been pretty on point with some of the stuff that I've been looking at as well. So
I've been wondering about that, but I haven't played
yeah,
with it yet.
just
So
type in.
that's good
Just
to know.
you can type it on Grok 4. Be like, hey, can you chart me this, this thing on this time frame and stuff like that, and it'll do it. Grok actually does a lot of good work with that stuff. So just obviously take it with a grain of salt because it is AI. But if you use your own stuff in Grok and can come to a
They use
correlation
it in
between the two.
tandem.
Yep, it might work out well. Okay, so
Wait, one moment, I'm taking a sip of my drink. All right. Hope you guys haven't tell. I haven't given a lesson in a very long time. If anybody has any questions, I'm much better at responding to things than just starting a free ball for hours. But if not, I will continue as paced. I'll just start giving out some examples and whatnot, play around with the on-demand features a bit. Which, if you guys don't know, TOS has an advanced paper trading system where you can basically pick any day in history, any chart, has everything there the way that it happened. So you can test and see, would this have worked? Would it have not? What I like to use that for is I just pick, like, if I'm bored on the weekend and I want to practice or something, pick a random date, any day, and just start trying. You win, you win, you lose, but it's great training. So I'll use that to give some examples as we wrapped up in a little bit, but I'd like to give a moment for any questions or anything to roll through. Or if anybody just has any tickers they'd like me to go ahead and give a look at, I can do that as well.
you want to take a look at ON for me? ON, just
Oh,
ON. Yeah, things on. They have earnings on what you want to call it, Monday morning, and they had some put flow come in. So just curious to see what your thoughts are on ON.
do I have charts of that daily? Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is just the entire history of this here chart, because I want to know the absolute highs and lows of the stock that I'm looking at. So it looks like 111 is the peak, and before that it didn't really make a lot. So the big burst was post-COVID, pretty much when all semiconductors took off. Okay. And then we've been decreasing since basically peak of the market. All right. So as far as trends and whatnot, actually curious to know. Go ahead and chain up and chain down real quick. See what those AI tools show me, if anything. Can I get channel down, please? That's updated. Apply. Okay, there we go. No, doesn't look like anything on the daily. Okay. So let's take a look for some levels. Obviously, it appears 60 is a pretty important level. You got a nice flat. Hold on, did my thing? No, I didn't. You got a nice flat amount of support there at the 60, which is now flipped into a resistance for this year. It did try to get above it and then fail. Currently, though, it is riding the 200 daily with the 50 coming up, which is typically a pretty bullish signal when the 50 crosses back over the 200. Descending 9, but for an earnings play, that's not really going to matter that much.
You said when the 50 crosses over, which one again? Was
The 200. Because
okay?
typically your 200 is obviously your long time frame. Usually it's like if the 200 flips, that's your like okay, time to change charts typically. So like in this case, we have no upper targets on the daily, but another chart might have some. For instance, the 4 hour still has multiple levels to beat, but they're all obviously closer targets. So your big targets, you want big time frames. The weekly has all of it up at 70. So me personally for earnings, looking at all this previous price action here in the 70s, and you got all these MAs here on the weekly. If it's a positive earnings, I'm gonna guess somewhere around 70 would be my first target. And that's a decent amount of percentage gain for the stock too. Could also, if they want to break through it, see somewhere around looks like 80 to 85 area. Has a lot of traction in there. Oh, back in this area though. 80 itself was the resistance of this channel, but as far as actual targeting, you're looking to break things. Yeah, if it's going to be a positive earnings, I'd probably target 80. If it goes wrong, and you can obviously use right stuff like this, you use it in tandem. So like, I'd be looking at the chart. Jay-Z is probably right now peeling through flow. Do I see
Yes,
any
I really
80s?
am. You are not
Because
wrong.
you use all the tools you have in tandem. For lower targets, 4 hours kind of slipping a little. Daily, You got the 150 at 50 and the 100 at 46.
All right, so that's perfect because the 46 level is what I was looking at. So just a while back, you had a ON put come in for a 47p. So
Yeah, that
maybe,
checks out with
yeah,
46.82 as
yeah,
the target.
that seems like okay. So if I arrange back on time for the flow of past flow coming in before all this, and if I can gauge. Oh, that is. I'm going to September, which has not even happened yet. Sorry. If I go back past flow and see what has happened for ON 724 had 59 come in. So you did say 60 level too, right?
Yeah,
How?
that's currently kind of what it's using as a
Okay,
resistance
so
right now.
the 60 level has just expired. That just expires today. So as of recently, we have all puts coming in. From what I'm seeing, I have a 47. I have a 54 as well. I was looking at the GEX levels. I have a strong magnet pull at 54 for ON, and then afterwards I have it all the way down to 45, which kind of checks out, right? So for the
Yeah,
majority
that,
of
that
it.
looks about right.
Yeah, and for the uptrend side, you have that 59.60. You have so it's around what is it right now? If I'm not mistaken, it's at 56, right? You have 59 and 60 level for resistance on the top, and then it has all the way up to 65. So
Yeah, you get out of there, and then you're just straight dealing with the weekly levels,
yeah,
and
so
those are all pretty much around 68 to 70. You got the
yes,
100 at 66, but that's what. Yeah.
yeah. So the GEX chart, the price action is lagging behind a positive GEX right now, but there is potential for a strong magnet pull down towards that 54 level, which will send it all the way down to 40, the 46 ish level. So, all right, perfect. So that's good. That correlates right with what you said for the most part. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. See, Bean dropped a little bit of flow. I'm curious if that'll line up. Why not? What was the ticker on that? SCHW. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Let's see.
Did you do that on purpose, Bean?
It's like, hold on now. I know this stock. All right. Let's look at the daily. Well, actually, first let me get my history in. Let's see. Max available. Okay. What do we got? Come on. Dang, all those fucking dividend payout and earnings things. Forgot I had those notifications on my charts.
SCHW
Um,
does not have any earnings coming up soon. So I'm guessing this is just a play on the
yeah,
actual
so this is
chart.
all just pushing highs.
Yep,
All right, so let me take a closer look. So they had the previous
97.5.
high way back a couple of years ago, almost got to 100. Looks like they just tapped out 96.24, and then the recent high was this week, start of this week. So we're coming off of an all-time high. You said the flow was 97.5 puts with 2 months of time. Okay, let me see if that makes any sense. No, let's not open Google Chrome. Thanks. All right. Uh, oh, right. I forgot this thing was drawing things for me. All right. So 97.5 P's, month and a half out, 2 months out. Let's take a look. 97.5, that's a low right now. So they're looking. Those are already in. Hold up. So those are. When did that flow come in, Bean? Was it like early morning? I'm curious. Basically, did they buy them when they were already in the money? One of those type of deals.
They came in at seems like the bulk came in at around
Yeah.
10:30.
Interesting.
This is an in the money play, I'm guessing then.
Yeah, in the money play, but
Yeah.
also at a pretty decent. That was basically they had recovered to the start of the morning right after they dumped off, and then he bought the puts about here. Saw some success, probably slightly negative there, and he's probably sitting break even or slightly down right now by like 1%. So on the bigger time frame of it, 'cause he does have time. Obviously, retracement does make sense. They've just lost the 9 MA on the daily. They've got space down to 91 on the 50, which even if it goes slow, which Schwab isn't the craziest mover around, you could see this rise up to maybe 92, 93 before it gets there if they want to take it slow. Or they could just crack this little 95, 94-ish support they've got going and drop right back down here. Either way, though, I do definitely like to put there. They went almost 100 flat, hit an all-time high on it, broke the 9 right after with this morning's pre-market moves.
Can I ask you a
So,
question on that 9, if you don't
yeah, go
mind?
ahead.
So
Yeah.
if the 9 breaks, right? Do you wait for a confirmation for it to try and retest
Yes.
it before?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
And the reason for that is all these times you'll see here, like even this, right?
Yep.
This you might want to take a lotto on, but I wouldn't call it confirmed yet. You always want to wait for 2, maybe 3 candles.
Yeah.
Obviously, that gets a lot harder to not FOMO when you're looking at daily and weekly candles.
Yeah.
But like, especially like the 1 minute, I'll just pull it up for this right now and see what's going on. Okay, so
So
right
in
here, there might be an opportunity to buy scalp,
yeah, so in that
but
situation, you just
where?
buy a close in the money call of a put, and then use that as a way to just leverage a quick 20%.
Yeah,
Correct?
well, I normally use the 9 sort of as an entry indicator, but not as much. I actually use it a lot more for exits. So,
Okay.
right, let's say that I bought a put here, right? So it comes down, I'm making money, and starts to flatten out. Bam, we're back above it. A candle like this, I might shit my pants. But, ideally, I'd hang on to it for a candle, see where the next one goes. The next one did get back under it, followed by a fighting candle that still closed under it, followed by another candle kind of fighting. Then they broke over, closed the candle above it. I'd definitely be out right here.
Okay.
Honestly, though, this one in this scenario probably would have just closed on that.
Yeah. So I mean,
Lost a whole bit if you didn't.
ideally, if you wait on this break over here and you're going downwards, right? That break you showed earlier, you could technically buy maybe say buy 3 contracts. You play 2 of them all the way down to 20. Take 20%.
Exactly. Yes.
Hold on to the other one, and you can use that as and you can use entry
Exactly.
as a
The
stop
9 is where
loss.
I'm watching. As soon as I touch it, I'm gonna
Yeah.
trim immediately. The minute I touch it, doesn't matter what happened, I'm trimming
Yeah, you
because
can
the
set a
flow
sell.
is
You can
starting to come
sell.
back.
Yeah, you can have a stop loss for your entry. That way, you don't lose any money on it, right?
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly. That's exactly how I use it.
perfect.
And then from there, I might leave a runner through it. Like, yeah, but it's just the 9 on the 1 minute. It's not, it's definitely not the most major indicator, but it is the first indicator. If it's gonna flip around, you're gonna see it there first. And then from there, let's say it went. Let's say that did continue. It busted all of its 1 minute levels. Then I would have switched over to the 5 minute. Okay, well, where's my next thing? Oh, it would have been up here at that time. It would have been 97. So maybe if I'm playing 5 minute, take a break here and aim for 97s. But still, I mean, it's such a bearish day with that big down move overnight for everything that most things right now. I mean, you guys see it. I haven't posted anything today. Normally, I have at least one trade that I share per day, but I haven't traded anything. I'm just watching. The move was overnight slash this morning to hit the 4 hour on SPY. Everything past that, I assume we're just going to consolidate out for the rest of the day. Maybe make up some room if they want to keep it bullish, but reverting back over to the SPY chart and looking at that 4 hour. That's a pretty significant level. Moving back pretty much since we've escaped the Trump tariff drop. No cracks of that. The one worry we had was a quick wick. Typically for SPY, by the way, guys, I like to use the 1 hour and 4 hour to target things, and the 5 minute and the 1 minute to actually get my entries and exits. That being said, let's take a look. TSAM. Go take a little glance at TSAM. Any interesting flow on that, or are you just curious?
That is interesting flow. That is a 8:15:42 that came in, and we have earnings Monday morning. So, $43,000 volume. 40,000. Yeah, volume came. Size premium. 4.9 billion market cap. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 43,000 for something that's expiring for next week with an earnings on Monday. I think that's pretty significant as long as that trader
Yeah.
stays in. It is 4% out of the money, so it's a little bit closer in the money than normal crazy earnings play. But if that trader is
Yeah.
gonna be if that trader is gonna stay in that contract for a while, it's like maybe
Well,
they're
there's enough
they're
in it to rise some
yeah.
eyebrows.
So that's what I would
All right.
say. I will say, however, there was some premium that came in a little bit earlier, with the high of that premium being average fill of the premium being around 150 to 160, and now that average fill was 170. So there might be some profit taking overall, but maybe that trade is still in there, right? So it's just like I'm just curious as to what you think the chart's going to be doing for that. So.
Doesn't look like it's ever been higher than it just was, as with most things. I never know though. Sometimes I go to look at these charts and there's something that's been through like 20 reverse splits and it was $10,000 a couple of years ago.
Yeah, fair.
So, or actually, I guess that'd be through regular splits, but you get the point. All right. So we are sitting right on the 50 on the daily. Let me check the weekly real quick, see if there's anything big going on there. Oh, and the 50 on the weekly, with the 9 approaching. Was that position short or long?
It seems like a short. Let me double check.
Really?
Let me make sure. Let me go through it
Yeah,
and
yeah, go ahead. I haven't even seen it, so I'm just curious.
it
It's
might be
definitely in a decision-making spot.
it might be also a spread. So let me double check. Make sure I'm putting up the right premium size and make sure it's not a spread. Uh, oh, there is a multi on it. So let's see what that multi is. It's a long strangle is what they're calling it.
That's kind of. I was just thinking. I'm like, honestly,
Yeah.
it could be steady here, or maybe a long.
Yep.
Um,
How
I
important it
don't.
is right
I
now.
honestly, I got bullish vibes out of it at
See
first
that
glance. I'm definitely feeling a little bullish.
this is why it's so important to look at charts, right? Not just flow. It's crazy because I was looking when Bean started posting charts earlier on flow stuff, and I've been looking at charts more. It's just like, oh my god, it's so important to also double check the chart, because then you can try and figure out if it's a spread or not, and they can figure out the multi. From the multi you can see if it's actually bullish or bearish, right? So it's like it's actually crazy how that stuff works. So being
And it helps
definitely
just to.
opened up my eyes a little bit more ever since we started this group, because I've been looking at more so charts as well at the same time. So it's been great. Thanks, Bean. Um,
Yeah, and it really it helps a lot to be able to look at those charts in tandem because you're able to kind of take a guess at what is the person who just dropped 500 grand on this option seeing. What do they think is going to happen? If I look at this chart and I was buying that, what would I be looking for? In this case, I'm going to assume bro sees all these supporting moving averages, but a recent high and then a big dip down. This could definitely start to kind of strangle its way in and just kind of stay there if it doesn't move. But with all these MAs and this pretty nice, I mean, it's got good support on there. They really don't. You're right. Some do not. Some whales do not care at all about a chart.
no, they don't. They just buy it because they know something's gonna happen. I mean, it is earnings, right? At the end of
Yeah.
the day, if it's a bad earnings, charts don't really matter, right? I mean, yeah, if that super strong report, it'll bounce off. But say you get bad earnings plus bad guidance plus something else comes through, those supports are not gonna
Yep.
hold. So
We're,
that's
we're,
kind
we're
of
going to see that 30 mark down here from this trend line real fast.
yeah, exactly.
If
So
it's bad earnings, we'll be down here because there ain't
yeah,
much catch besides.
yeah.
35 kind of offers a little support, maybe.
I did also get a really interesting stock that just
37 might as
populated, a
well.
flow that populated for. Yeah, AMTM looked good, but also did this just populated on my money flow, and it was STWD puts flowed in with 1,000 size premium and 20k, 20k premium with 1,000 size volume. It has 6.6 billion market cap, so it's very low. I mean, earnings is next week. It is a real estate stock, so they're expecting it to. This looks like a full on double buy. They seem to have double dipped into it, so it looks like they bought it at the same fill on both occasions. So I don't. Either they're scared and getting out for the second one, or they don't really care. They're just gonna buy it twice because they're that confident in it. So
I like the stock. um. Okay. So it's definitely a pretty flat stock.
okay,
Doesn't get tons of miles. This is a stock I'd like to run the wheel on. Honestly, this has got predictable ranges. This is a good candidate for using options the way they're supposed to be used.
okay. And why do you say
Let's
that? If you don't mind explaining that.
Yeah, I can kind of give a slight breakdown on the wheel, but
Yep.
really that would be something that we should set up another stream for,
Okay,
as
we
the
can do
actual
that. Well, then
nature of options.
part two. We can do a part two on that.
Yeah, we'll do a part two on that. But a very just quick thing, because obviously a lot of us here are trading options.
Yeah.
For people who don't really get what happens with that, when you buy an option, we'll use just a call as a naked call as an easy example. So you're looking at we'll use this little option chain I got over here just for an example. Give me any SPY call. Talk about calls. Let's look at a 621 call. So right now the price of them is, let's go 400 for a flat number, kind of moving up. But when you buy a call option, what you're actually doing is buying a contract. Yeah, well, that's what they are. They're advanced hedges that they pay you to hedge. But what you're buying is a contract where, if you're in this case paying cash for a call, you're agreeing you're gonna pay $400 for somebody else to guarantee that if you want, you can buy 100 shares of SPY for $621. So it going on 621 a share. You times that by 100, you got what, 62 grand, something like that. Doing quick math.
I'm bad at math. Don't ask me about math.
It's give or take a zero, but that's all it is. It's a contract for 100 shares at a guaranteed price. And this is the reason why quad witching days and whatnot are so important. When these expire, tons of people have to make a move. So if something's in the money, you are at risk of being what's the word, assigned. So if you're the person who sold that call to them, you had 100 shares of SPY. Let's say SPY goes up to 625. That call's deep in the money. The person who bought this contract for $400 can just click the execute button, and now they're allowed to buy your 100 shares for 62 grand. Meanwhile, you could have sold them if you didn't sell that option for now 64 grand or whatever. It's wherever the SPY has gone since. So it's basically just a guaranteed deal to make a certain move by a certain time. Now, when you're using these in mass and you have billions of dollars behind you to do it with, and you're selling thousands of contracts at a time like these market makers do, this is when situations like short squeezes and whatnot can happen. Because you hit these time frames and they go, oh fuck, I don't have enough shares or enough money to actually do what needs to happen without incurring massive losses that I can't afford.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what they are is they're agreements to make a certain purchase by a certain time, or a certain sale by a certain time, depending on which side of the option you're on. And the way to use those properly, we could give an entire multi-hour lesson on that. And it's really the reason the market moves the way it does is purely because of the options chain in modern trading. All the big money is heavily in options chains, and they cannot lose. There's almost no scenario where the market makers will lose anymore. Because if it goes down, they already got paid premium for it. If it goes up, they already got paid premium for it. They gauge these premiums like a motherfucker. Every move is already pre-anticipated in some capacity via the options chain.
So what do you think about
Anyways,
what do you think about this one? What are your thoughts if you look at it?
so moving back over here, you said actually
We got a
we'll look
18
at the flow
put.
after. I don't want to know. I want to just look at
Okay.
it. So right off rip, like I said, it's a pretty stable stock. Looks like for the last many years, the most constantly traded number is right about $20. They did have a pretty heavy dip here. Was this 2020? Okay, so this is COVID drop, yeah. So this is COVID here, and then they restabilized with the rest of the market.
Real estate companies that makes
Yeah.
catch makes sense.
It checks out.
Yeah, it checks out. So
So it's a pretty stable stock. I mean, you're looking at support at 16 on the very low end, with the real support being about 18 on a macro level and 22 for a resistance. If we bring it in a little closer, if you're going to be trading it in a more by the day capacity or by the week capacity, you could probably trade 21 to almost 19, but there is some dips under 19 that happens. That'd be a little bit riskier of an area to
So
play by.
bingo, 21 is a very strong GX, positive GX. So that's where your top resistance is gonna come in. So
Yep.
and then you have your dip. Yeah, so 19 drop will has a strong magnet to 19, and then you have a strong magnet to 18 as well. 20 is also seeming like a strong GX level as well. So,
Yeah,
but
that's just their stable level, though. That's typically
yeah,
where it's trading 19.5 to 20.
yeah. So drop after 18 will send it down a lot further. So
Yeah. You lose 18, you don't got nothing catching until, like, I guess this 16 low. And even then, if
yeah.
we go back to that weekly chart, you go under that. Hold on, can I get a little more time on that, please, chart? Like to put COVID back in the picture. Yeah, under the 16 mark, it's a lot of blood. You might be able to get a catch at 14, but under that, it's pretty much like no man's land down there. So really, I wouldn't expect to see any lower out of this stock than 14 in the most catastrophic of scenarios, unless the company is actually going to go out of business. Under 14, I'd almost exclusively be shorting it.
Fair enough.
But that's all, that's super big time frames there. In a normal trading sense, looking at an earnings or something, I'd be targeting based off the daily. So yeah, same numbers we were just talking about. 21, 19/18 area, but really 18.5, 18 is your important supports there.
Yeah, past 14 days, you've had more put volume come in than call volume. So your put premiums are at 85,000, where the call premium is a half of that, which is 42,000. Your highest volume contracts and highest OI contracts are going to be all puts. So you have a
Yeah,
couple
that
calls
links
in
to
there.
maturity.
Yeah, there's a couple calls in there. So maybe we have some good stuff going on for earnings next week, or maybe they're expecting something. Maybe they're expecting a drop before earnings so they can cash out on premium, right? That's also an option. So
Yeah, most of these time frames look pretty bearish, as to be expected, since they just hit top of channel, and that's also probably why that put premium's higher. They're at the top of that channel. They're going 21, 19, 21, 19, 21, 19. So they
yeah,
just hit their 21. They're on the pullback, just crossed through the middle of the channel.
so
And
maybe they'll
they got a little more room.
maybe they'll take an exit at 19 if it is 19 today, right? So we'll keep
Yeah,
an eye on. So that's another thing for flow, guys. If you wanna,
yeah.
you
It
see
gets
that
under
coming in,
19,
yeah,
18.
yeah.
Under 18, it gets dangerous.
Yeah, you see that flow come in, you want to make sure you're double checking towards the end of the day to make sure that there is no one selling to, right? You don't want to be caught with diamond hands that you can't get rid of, right? So, it's another thing. Bean
Okay, got that
has Pfizer
chat.
on there.
Oh, when did Mr. Crocker get here?
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
Dylan, I gave you your teaching. Get out of here. Do I know what I'm dumb? All right. So, which one you said PFE? Did we wanna give a glance at AMTM or?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, please do,
Okay,
actually.
I'll
Let's
do
do that.
that first, and then I'll go over to Pfizer.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So AMTM. Wow. Okay. Got a weekly 9 under it. Interesting. Okay, now it's just taking a minute to load itself up. What's going on here? Hello, chart. Can I have the rest of you, please? All right, here we go. You know what? This is just a recent IPO, isn't it? There's just not much chart to look at. That's probably what's going on here. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right, so there's not even weekly MAs yet to look at. Dailies is wow. Okay, this is interesting. So looking at this, is this IPO still? Yep, still. Initial open price 23, saw 33 almost. And then actually just that was an interesting IPO day for them. All right. So we got a high of 34. Mostly appears to. It's funny, they actually used the low of their IPO day kind of as a middle range now. They got a low of 16, high of 34, and average right in between them. We are sitting on the top side. Yeah, this is actually a pretty interesting area. Okay. So the way I'd look at this in a long term is honestly it's just so new without knowing the company that I can't say for sure whether it be up or down or anything like that, just based on a long time frame. On a shorter time frame, however, you're looking at a top of channel touch with some red on it. Now they're currently testing what appears to be the lower end of like their middle catch point before it all flips back into resistance from these earlier moments. So it's definitely in an interesting spot. Is there any related flow to that by chance?
Yeah. So we had what I posted earlier was AMTM was calls. I think I had. Let me take a peek. Um, where did you go, AMTM? All right, hold on, AMTM. So 30 call, 919 30 call, 24% of the money.
919 too.
Yeah.
Interesting. There goes a lot of time. And he said it's a 30 call?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can almost bet that they're banking on this 50 daily holding.
Yeah.
Starting to come near it. They got the the 200 daily average has just began right here. Actually, I see that now. So they do have a 200-day average now. It's 2250 something. Basically 22.5. Actually, might be exact. But it's so small that I can't even actually try to get it to read the number over here without blocking it with my cursor. So you got all the daily MAs sitting under it. It is riding up on a trend. We can actually draw ourselves a little one here too, just for example's sake. Trend line. So we'll grab the low, bring it up to the next one, make sure that it's nice and even with that, and then I'll just extend it over. Yeah, so you got a trend line lining up with the 50 and the 200, which are the more important of those two. The 100 and the 150, especially the 100. The 100 is still important. The 150, I can't. Even years of using this, it does hit, but it's kind of one of those ones where it hits, bounces, and goes through it almost every time, no matter what the situation is. It's kind of like a take profit marker for me when I use this in the indicator setup. Anyway, so yeah, you got the 50 and the 200 sitting under it with a positive trend line. I think you could maybe see it hit 23 once before it goes up more, but I'd probably be on the call side of things too here.
Okay, cool.
You don't really have any solid downtrend coming from the highs that it's in right now. You could try and draw some ones that I wouldn't really like. You could draw a trend line here, but like really it should be there, and they already got out of it.
Yeah.
You could put it here, but even that one is also already broken out of. So yeah, I'd say it's in a bullish spot right now.
Dylan says cup and handle.
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay. Also, for the guys just joining in, you guys are welcome to put some tickers down as well. Pat can take a look. Yeah, drop
anything. We're just going through.
Yeah. So if you guys have any stocks you want to check, no, Dylan, absolutely not. If you guys have any stocks you guys want to check, let us know. He'll take it out.
My favorite stock, real quick, guys. Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
PFE's next.
Pfizer, right?
Yeah, Pfizer, please. Intel is a garbage stock, Dylan.
Dylan and his Intel.
Scepter, yes. Charts definitely work for ER. Something I was just telling earlier was that being posting charts more has made me look at charts certain things for like different stocks, and it's no, you're fine. But it's actually really helped because you can kind of like, just a perfect example earlier was we were talking about what was it, that stock we were just talking about that had like a multi
Hold on.
TSEM.
Yeah.
So TSEM popped up on one of my flow. It's not ER technically, but it was like a multi that came in. And was it an ER? Maybe it was an ER. I can't remember. My brain is so flooded with everything. Let me double check and make sure I tell the right thing before I lie. Yeah, so TSEM is, yeah. TSEM ER is pre-market on Monday, so we were looking at the flow for TSEM. That was a put that came in, and then I digged a little bit more deeper as a multi with a bullish attachment to the multi, right? So when Pat looked at the chart, he said, "I would be more bullish on this than bearish." So when I looked at it and digged a little bit more deeper, the multi came out to be a long strangle. So kind of a big eye opener for me was as well for earnings is that charts are important because at the end of the day, even if it's bad earnings, they still have to break through those support levels, right? Good earnings, they still have to break through those resistances. So I think that having the ability to look at a chart, or even say maybe, hey, be like, hey, I want somebody to look at this chart for me and tell me what they think is going to be good because I'm not very good with charts. So asking everybody else about charts also is a good idea because that way you can get an opinion about it too. So yeah, go ahead, Pat. Thanks.
Moving back over to Pfizer. All right. Well, weekly looks pretty bearish at the moment. Look at daily. I already know Pfizer has some crazy highs in the past, but I'll check them out real quick anyway. I have 20 years of weekly chart, please. Thank you. 61. Okay. All right. So we got a 61 high. Absolutely got smoked since then now. For obvious world reasons. Wow, actually. I didn't expect them to be lower than COVID drop, though. That's actually kind of interesting. Damn, when did Pfizer get wrecked so hard? I haven't looked at this in a while.
Pfizer's been getting wrecked, I think. Yikes.
All right. So moving forward with analysis now that I've got the highs in my brain. So start with the biggest time frame. Weekly, we got descending on pretty much all of the MAs. They did try to catch their 9, but as of today, that's a lost dream. Or this week, rather. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday that actually happened. Or Tuesday. Nah, it's Wednesday. Alright. Yeah, I can't lie. It's looking pretty bearish still, even though it's dropped so much. I mean, they do have a little bit of an uptrend going on here. Take a look. It's moments like this where I wish I was on my touchscreen laptop instead of my gaming laptop.
Damn, must be
Yeah,
nice
the
to have,
trend basically
must
just
be
goes
nice to have two
straight to the
laptops.
Yeah, so you got a trend line lining up with an MA. Surprise, surprise. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's breaking off of its dailies right now. Weekly doesn't exactly look encouraging either. You obviously got quite the downtrend going on here. And we could go for like that. Try to break out. Rode this for a bit. Yeah, it just seems like almost every time they tried to do something, it didn't work out. Even on the closest ones I could try to chart as a trend line. They got a little breakout, but they just got rejected on it. So, I mean, again, we got some of these bigger companies really dragging a lot of the market down right now. So there is that to take into consideration. But signals like that, pretty bearish. What's the flow look like for it?
Bean just said there was a 24.588 that came in, which expires next week. So I'm running through the contracts right now.
Is that a call?
Yeah, 24.5C.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
technical analysis wise, right? Let's say, so I was going to ask this about SPY, but this is just a good example as any. Let's take this 2583 price level. That's your moving average for X days. I don't know, whatever, right?
Yep. This is 50.
So let's say in theory you want to buy. Let's just say in theory you have a theory that when it breaks this line, you're gonna buy calls for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
So what does confirmation look like for you? So because obviously it can go over this line and then just crash under again.
Come right
but
back down.
what would confirmation look like for you that would make you go long?
Now, in the case of Pfizer, honestly, there is quite a lot of stacked resistance on top of it. So for me to want to go long here, it would take quite a bit. Ideally, I tend to use the daily chart the most for it. The weekly is really for like extreme macro levels. But again, seeing Pfizer's weekly is why I'm very hesitant because from this scenario, there's just a lot of short pressure. Granted, you can only get so low being as big as Pfizer, so I do feel like a bounce is in order at some point. However, for me to want to go long, I'd honestly probably be waiting for at least a 200 cross on the daily, which is this red line here. And in order for me to even consider that beat, I'd want to see, obviously, the candle, the price point move past that 25 mark. And then from there, I'd like to see both the 9MA and the 50 also rising along with it. Full confirmation would probably be once like the 50 is over the 200 again. That's really to just get a quick eye of trend, right? You can almost always use the 200 and the 50 as a good base point for that on a long range. So if your 50 is over the 200, you're typically getting some bullish action out of it. Can I make this chart just a little longer for my example? 4 years old. All right. So we see like back here. We'll look at this section. So we had a 50 below the 200. Now eventually it broke up over its 50, started going, and actually rejected its 200 until they went to a drawdown where you see the 9 and the 50 going through there while the price point is over. So by the time they actually crossed, we're up here on a touchback with the 9. So right there, I might have taken a long position and could have gotten, I guess, from 29 to almost 32 out of it. And if you sold it at the 9 again, you get 30.50 out of it. So you're talking about $1 worth of play there if you play it as bad as possible on these indicators. If you put no risk into it at all, you just wait for the exact most confirmed confirmations. But like if you're playing it, like me personally, if I was playing this, I probably would have, seeing the aggressive 9 rising and a break over, probably by like here I would have been buying it. And then from there, it's a risky entry. Probably by the time there's a touchback taking profits. Again, obviously this is all speculative. Really, something like this is something we could use the on-demand tool for. Because with that, I could say put it to this date, buy a theoretical position, and then fast forward a week and see where that position would have been. I like the stock.
So being just on Pfizer real quickly as well, I am seeing that the 24.5 is lower on the chains of volume today. There is more on the 30Cs and stuff like that. I would definitely check OI, I guess, on Monday and see how that
Looks like they
works
just
out.
hit in earnings. When is the next Pfizer earnings?
When is next Pfizer?
Okay, that's dividends.
Oh, this got full
Okay,
yesterday.
should be soon.
Okay. So then, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they carried over most of it, so it looks relatively good then. If it was
That's
yesterday, yeah.
interesting. They alternate their dividend payout to their earnings. It's funny. It's like back here, it's like dividends, then an earnings. Then here it's
So
earnings, then dividends.
Bean is saying
Dividends, then earnings.
go full send on this. So I'm gonna full send on this then.
Oh. Well, they did do dividends, so I assume earnings is coming up. They did, like I said, they broke their little bullish uptrend they had going there with this last week of red. But, I mean, again, it is quite sold on. And 23 does work as a support in this scenario. Not a great one, but it is something. And, with something that's this heavily down, bulls can get aggressive if they see an area they like and there's a catalyst like earnings to play off of. This is a decent enough level that enough people could call it a support. You gotta remember the market is all about perception. So, right, 1 million people could decide this is a support. Even if it's the shittiest support ever, 1 million people are gonna buy at it, so it doesn't matter. Now it is a support.
Oh, earnings is on the 5th, which is Tuesday pre-market, by the way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be close with the dividends here.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, you have a
That's funny.
23 level is a strong magnet zone. Plus, you have that bounce. If it bounces off there, market makers are gonna try their best to push it up from that 23 zone. So maybe that.
If they can get it back over the 50 on the daily,
Yeah.
they've got the 9 slightly dropping under it right now, which is a kind of bearish signal.
Yeah,
but
that looks
momentum.
good actually.
It's got momentum.
Yeah.
If they can just get it back into the trend, they're good to go.
Yeah, I mean that actually looks
Actually,
good.
a pretty nice channel now that I'm looking at it. They got
Yeah.
an upward channel here.
Good find
Top
on that
end
one.
of it works.
Good find on that one.
Yeah, so calls. Me personally, I'm not gonna play it. But I wouldn't put it out of the question there. I am bearish in a chart sense but I can definitely see bullets
Says
potentially
our
bringing all
cop.
down. It's down pretty hard, so reversal is definitely not out of the question.
Yeah. Swips, does that answer your question for the most part, though? I know you asked the question and we got kind of
Yeah, about
sidetracked.
entries and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just
And I can give more and more examples as we go. I'll try to point out some more.
Yeah, I just have one additional question. So,
Yeah,
in
go ahead.
continuation to my first question, let's say you're day trading SPY, right? And you've done your analysis, right? And let's say that you think that 620 is going to be your target for puts. So, do you go into short positions as soon as it touches that 20, or do you wait for some kind of a confirmation to how much below do you want it to be?
Here, for the 620 move that we did, what did it for me was the hourly chart collapsing. So once the hourly chart got absolutely freaking smoked back here, yesterday is where it really ended up back on it again and kept going. But even Thursday, we had that crazy V move go on. That showed us some weakness. But then obviously that super high pre-market kind of had me ready to sit on my hands like I don't know. But once the hourly chart got absolutely smoked, closed under it, and then the next candle tried it, failed it, and then continued downward. At that point, the 1 hour levels are 100% busted. So you move up to your next chart and you find yourself some new targets. At that point, when that 1 hour chart busted, which is right about here-ish, it was on that level. Price point for the 200 was 634. So I relate that over here. Yeah, that's the 50. And it's funny, most of these, they tend to go in intervals that are close to these fours. So you'll notice like the 1 minute 200 is always very close to the 5 minute 50. Just a fun little tidbit as you use these. But moving back to the question of the entry. So once that initial level of 634 was gone, then you start to find new targets. So obviously for the end of that day, I was targeting about 630. We almost got there, and then once we closed, then we did. In pre-market or after hours, I guess. Yeah, that's still after hours. It's like straight futures trading 1 a.m. They caught it, attempted to get away, and then smashed straight through it. Another little catch at the 150, smashed straight through 200. Now here, looking at it again, I'm kind of, I don't know yet. I have always been more of a short player than a long player with SPY, which is definitely slightly retarded, but that's, I learned how to trade in the COVID drop, so some things stick. I made a ton of money off shorts, and then I was just always looking for more. So, like, internally, I kind of want to short this 200 break, but I would definitely be jumping the gun. The 9's not there yet. The 50's barely moved. The daily, however, also does have some gap to 611, and the 9 is definitely shattered. But again, right now, really, and I'm sure you've seen discussion of this in chat, 618 is a pretty good support right now. They were using that for a little bit back here. It's the last previous low from this big candle here. Yeah, it's almost 618 on the dot. Wow, what is the low on that? Yeah, 618.05. So I'd be waiting for this on a short entry, even though the level is good. That was more of a target than an entry. I tend not to enter too often off of the 200s because there's almost always another bigger time frame. If you check every time frame though, and there's just nothing but space, why not? Like that's why the 630 short was so good. All the hourly was up in the 630 plus area. Daily 9's up in the 630 plus. Once that broke, 4 hour levels were almost guaranteed to fill, just because all the buyers up here are now negative. So what are they going to do? They're either going to hold it while the shorts have their way with them, or they're going to become shorts and be selling those positions. Now here, again, it's decent support at 620. I could see a bounce. If not, 618 bounce is more likely in the books if they go under a little more. Under 618 though, I'm definitely going to be taking a short, targeting probably 612 just to keep it conservative. Oh. So.
As we speak.
There's an interesting little tick that just hit right there. Sorry, I don't know if that just caught my eye. Yeah, that was fat. I saw that shit from a daily chart. What kind of 1 minute is that? What just came through? Well, can I get like large size orders only? Oh, wait, I already closed it. They're not going to show me back there unless I actually go and look for it. Yeah, no, this is, when I'm scalping, I always have this set up here at my chart and then my time and sales. And that'll all, you'll catch anything big that goes through. If you set it up to like show only order sizes over 1,000 shares, you'll tend to catch big stuff that comes in before the rest. It's like Flow, but even more live action. But yeah, I mean, for an entry off of that, I probably, I don't know if I'd enter shorts off of that just because of that 618 support. That, and there's just still so much room for them to try and bounce back and get it now. Just the 200 on the 4 hour has been a great support every time the things start to get a little sketchy on SPY. I actually used that 150 as a resistance like 3 times during the tariff drops. Anyways, do we have, yes, Bean Man, daily is indeed king. Alright.
Oh wow! Just heads up for everybody. Robinhood just added MAs and everything to their charts, and it looks really clean.
Yeah, they've had that for a little bit.
I didn't even
It
realize
took me a while to discover it.
Whoa, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. They did that when they added their Legend platform or whatever it's called for PC.
Wow.
But they added
Dude,
full
that
level
is
charts and stuff like that.
clean.
It's pretty nice. But I just can't use Robinhood because I love EOD trading and they don't let me.
That's fair enough. All right, so we have.
Still, I always recommend it to beginners.
We have hymns if you want to do hymns.
Yep.
And then we also have Intel. Will be our last one because I don't want to talk about Intel. Intel's a garbage stock.
I saw it. I thought about it. I will do it for the memes if you really want, Dylan. At the end, I'll give you some eyes on it.
Intel's such a garbage stock.
Hey man, that's his prized possession. He's been waiting on Intel for 4 years now.
It is true.
Bro is the ultimate Intel whale.
Yeah, Dylan is the
ultimate. For what it's worth, I'm running on an Intel i7 core right now on this laptop.
I got Mr. Subei's products here.
All right, let's do a little charting. So weekly time frame, all of it. No, wait, that's wrong.
I believe Hims has earnings next week too. Just an FYI.
So we got, it's been a little bit since one probably is. 72 high with a very recent touch almost up there. I mean, it's obviously quite bullish on the big time frames. Let's look closer now. So the daily. Yeah, I gotta say it looks pretty bullish. You definitely got some double top danger here since these are both wicks. It's obviously not a clear double top. It's more of a descending type of trend deal there. But regardless, it's something that could be a little bit of bearish pressure. Let's draw it out for the fun of it. You could either do trend line here, which lines right with the MA and is the proper trend line. So we'll just go ahead and stick that down actually, no matter what. Okay, well, looks like they're descending towards 60 where their trend line and the 9 meets. Honestly, they have earnings soon though, with Hims being, it's been doing really well lately. I could totally see continuation over the 70 mark. If the flow's there for it, I'd probably go long on it. They do got a good bit of support. However, if, earnings aren't good, then it'd probably be moved from, it'll probably be around 60 when earnings comes. That'd be a smart spot for them to kind of put it, that or 55. If they put it too high, then there'll be a lot of short pressure on the earnings. It'll be one of those deals where this better be good earnings or I'm selling. Whereas if they've got some a little space to move up and then they blow past it, it can get very positive. On the short side of things, targets would probably be somewhere around 55. They got a lot of price action there. Then 50 as well. Pretty much just $5 increments it appears this moves in pretty generally. Yeah, almost every $5 you start to see some interesting price action. If you just pick random spots, then not so much.
We got ER on 8-4 after Monday after hours. It'll be interesting to see what flow comes in on Monday for him. Yeah. So
that's which Monday?
Tomorrow.
This
This coming Monday.
Okay. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what flow comes in after on Monday for Hims, so it'll be very interesting to see that. So
Yeah. I think on the shorts, I mean, I don't. Hims has been pretty steady as a company and with their earnings reports and whatnot. So I would assume things are going to keep the status quo. They might do a small retracement and kind of see 50, 45 at most. I'd be very surprised if it got any lower than that. But I think it's more likely they'll probably just be somewhere in the 60 area coming into earnings. And then most likely they'll probably try to use this, flip this into a support and bounce on, trying to go find some new all-time highs. But this is not financial advice. I have no idea. I don't trade Hims. I've traded Hims.
I got one more for you that came in, which is kind of crazy on the flow feed. So I'm just gonna let you look at it first, and then I'll tell you what it is.
There you go.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, I know everybody knows what it is, but
Something's hidden.
but that's a pretty. I mean, it's an at the money hit, right? But it's very interesting to see how this plays out, though. I mean, they might be
Must
trying
be
to
a
grab.
hedge of some sort, man.
Yeah, all my big trying to grab some premium, right, on a quick downturn. So, just if you want to look at that chart for me, Pat, and let me know what you think about that, and then we can. I know you want to go
CS?
trades. BCS, yeah.
You're good. I did say 2 earlier when we were talking about it before stream, and I thought about it after we were getting off. I'm like, trade 2 to 3. I don't trade 2 to 3. I trade 3 to
Okay.
4. What am I
Okay.
talking
Perfect.
about?
All right. Good. So we got.
So yeah, we're not in any
Okay. Good.
bind like that or nothing. I still
Alright.
got my options over here, so I'm okay.
So I can send you more charts. Then we can send in more charts, guys. That's what it means. So,
quick, all the charts now.
all of them. Just send them all right.
All right. So BCS, you said?
Yeah, Barclays.
Okay. Let's take a look. See. I really should just put this big weekly chart in my favorites. I do this all the time when I'm looking at charts, going through those options to put it to max. All right, 62, and then it's never seen nothing like that again. Okay, when was that? Right before the 08 crash. That checks out entirely. All right, moving forward with moderate analysis. So, if we cut out that whole deal, the next actual high is like 25, and it appears like that's kind of the mark. 25 and then really 20. So, yeah, it never really got back to 25 past like 2010. So 20 appears to be the high side target, which we've just actually hit for the first time since 2015. All right. Interesting. No, not even. That hadn't been up there since like 2013, 14. Dang. Okay. I bet the flow is interesting, whatever it is. Okay. I mean, it's clearly very bullish on the weekly. The daily's gonna follow the same trend there. Trump tariff drop looks pretty similar to, honestly, the whole chart looks pretty similar to SPY, but just more aggressive. I mean, they got support at this 18 here, and really just the 18 number itself is a pretty good support. It was originally resistance, flipped into support now. Honestly, I mean, especially with this candle here, we're probably gonna end up at least getting a 50 MA touch. I don't know if we'll see 18, but we should at least be visiting this moving average, especially with all this upward action over the last couple months. Yeah, honestly, I kind of just expect this to follow SPY. I mean, it's like I'm looking at a SPY chart right now, smaller numbers.
All right, so we got that put flow that came in for 19p, right? So like Swift said, it's probably maybe it's a hedge, right? So
definitely could be.
What did I see? Is it a multi? It's not a multi. So let me check the actual contracts on this. I mean, yeah, I mean that's the most volume for the day is that 19p. So you have anything bullish for the time being? We do have some bullish contracts in that have been in for a while. So I mean they're already up. I mean I guess they're gonna try and hedge, or maybe they're trying to catch a quick downside. You know, one of the two. So
their 4-hour chart it's got more stuff going on than SPY's does. I haven't fully filled it out. So we could definitely still see a little bit lower. But again, I think 18 is the level to aim for on the short side. It can definitely go lower than that. It's been lower than that for a bunch of years now. But with them finally getting up to these ages ago levels,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that have probably been holding Barclays for their entire life and they're 55 years old. Like, oh, my Barclays is finally back since when I lost my house in '08. So,
Yeah,
maybe
I'm pretty
this
sure.
if you're
Yeah.
in that scenario, this is a good spot for a hedge as well. Say, well, now I've got it. If it goes below 19 again, I want my fucking money.
Yeah.
So it could definitely be a hedge position. It's possible.
Can you take a look at UNH, please?
I haven't looked at that since the last big move they did.
It might be trying to catch a falling knife. Somebody mentioned earlier, which is I was also thinking about that yesterday. So this might be UNH to zero. God, you were at 48. Listen, man, I
Or
caught I
zero?
caught I caught that first UNH drop, and that was the most insane thing I ever caught. Because I saw full on unusual whales, and I was like, "This is I've never seen this before. Why is somebody going so out the money on this?" And I caught it, and I was just like, "This is why they did that. This is quite literally why they did that." That's kind of how I like kind of started off my year. I feel like with that UNH play, which is like nuts, right? So I might want to try and catch this falling knife though. Seems like an interesting falling knife to catch.
Off of the weekly, I like 200 support. They've definitely got some juice here at 250 as well. I mean, you got that previous low there from recent times, obviously. And then you got all this previous action back here, 2019 to 2020. Even the COVID drop came right back. It was right there in the MAs at the time.
The only issue is we're going into a weekend. I don't know how I feel about that, but
Yeah.
um,
When is their is it just Flow or do they have their earnings coming up?
I think they have earnings coming up soon. If I'm not mistaken, or maybe they
No,
already.
the earnings were on Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh
there
no,
you
yeah, no,
go.
they just
Yeah,
happened.
they just got
No.
them. Um,
Okay. And then they're still decreasing after.
do I remember the
So
DT was no, Bean. I don't remember the DTE for earnings. I think the DTE when I got those was like I think 2 weeks or maybe a week. It was very short though. It was a very short DTE from what I remember when I first got into it, which is kind of why I was like, hmm. Oh no, it was not 2020. It was no, it was a short one. So that's what kind of stuck out to me because it looked really unusual. I was looking at all the other DTEs with volumes and open interest, and I was like, why is this one the only one that kind of sticks out with a decent amount of volume? Not the highest volume, but it was a decent amount of volume, right? So I was like, you know what? Let's take a measly gander. I think it. I can't remember what it did. I really can't. I think it went from like probably like $30 to like three grand or something like that, which is unreal almost. But yeah, it was a nutsy move on that when it first dropped, right? So I don't know. I kind of like this level for a possible maybe like 2 weeks outplay for just to grab some premium maybe. I might consider that. But yeah, I just wanted to know your thoughts on it. Do you think that might be a possible bounce here?
yeah, so looking at it, I definitely like it for a bounce. However, if you were gonna start buying, I'd go light here because you got more room on that downside.
Yeah, I figured as
Um,
much.
like I was pointing out before, pull that back. Here we go. 200 offers some solid support. Anything pre-COVID, that was the COVID level save. That's where their deep money is sitting. Um,
So just for references purposes, right? The
yeah,
UNH 300 call was $750 on the 28th of July, right? Which is probably what dropped it after earnings, right? But small bounce with a lower IV can push it all the way back up. Right now, it's sitting at $28 a contract. So I'm very curious as to.
yeah. See, especially for you, I would have no qualms about grabbing a couple as a lotto-esque play.
Yeah, I probably will,
Um,
to be honest. For
Because the thing is, look,
850.
right, where we're sitting here, the 250 area, granted, we're now below it, but that also offers, that's probably the best support you got besides 200 down here. So it's 200, 250. And
Yeah.
250 is currently cracking, which is why I'm kind of where I think they could maybe see 200, honestly. Last earnings did not do it any favors, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I can.
So,
Yeah.
there's room to go further. But we're also coming from, up here in 600s, rapid decline. Most of the time, you're going to get some bounce. I will say, you notice where their bounce went to after the first Mesa drop. Hit the 9, tested it, closed under it. moving away again.
Yeah, so if it breaks that 9 properly, I think you have a
Yeah, exactly.
decent
If you
amount
get
of
a
room.
bounce and you see it coming through here, you might as well take a lotto. What do you know? There's so much room above it. If it fails, it fails. You lose a little bit, but the risk to reward here is great.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's my thoughts. 250 offers support currently under it. If you can get over that light lotto, if you get over the 9, slightly more heavy lotto, but still keep it light. You know?
I'm considering getting
Over the
some in
9,
the.
I'd take it as confirmation for a proper lotto play. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna get in, and I think probably I will average down. If it goes back down, and then I'll figure out.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah,
see 200, right? If you start an entry here
yeah,
and then re-average at 200, if there's still plenty of time on it, yeah, that should be pretty good.
I'll probably buy it 2 weeks out, to be honest, just it looks interesting. So
Me personally, I'd probably target a month, but obviously you don't want to pay for too much time. You can always roll it later.
you know how I am, Pat.
Yeah, I know.
You know how I am. Don't even go there with me.
That's why I said what I said. That way, if somebody else is thinking about this
Yeah,
with a
yeah, yeah.
less
Don't do.
vision in
Yeah,
mind,
yeah, yeah. I'm not. This is not. This is not advice. Okay,
the
this is
safer
just.
idea would be to buy a
Yeah,
month
yeah.
or so.
This is just me talking to myself, right? Don't follow this. This is very very risky. Okay, just
This
an
is
FYI.
not financial advice.
Not even by the smallest stretch, longest stretch is not. Okay.
This could maybe be gambling advice, but you shouldn't take gambling advice.
No, you should never take gambling advice. Not a recommended thing to do.
All right.
BMY was what being put in there.
BMY. All right. BMY. Bristol Myers Squibb Company.
They just had earnings, I believe, too. So.
Yep, just had it. Weekly chart. Where have you gone? There we go. Brain is not braining. Okay.
Tell me about it.
Where's my Red Bull?
Tell me about it. My brain never brains.
It's when I started this and I was still like in slow mode. Now it's running too fast. Now I'm intaking all the numbers again. All right. This is interesting. What's the high on this? Oh, okay, it's recent. Okay, so 81 high, IPO low. All right, so we're just gonna be looking at these more recent levels then. Is that 40? And 40 down here on this drop. Okay, so it looks like 40 is sort of the macro support there. Let's actually start looking at this in a normal sense now. Okay. So yeah, we're using 40 as a support here. Pretty clear, and it's pretty old support too, so it's not out of the question to get broken if things are going bad for Bristol Myers Squibb Company. Got a big downtrend that got broken. So this is something that I just thought about while I was looking at the last chart, but I just want to randomly say it. Now that we're looking at something, anybody who's watching this in post or is here and is unfamiliar with trend lines and whatnot that I gave that little crash course about, something I probably should have been doing during all this is still drawing trend lines. I have just been doing this, like I see them already, but whenever you're looking at all these charts, even with the MAs in tandem, the way that I'm trading it, I'm always looking at it with the trend lines involved in my head. So like for me, I'm seeing a downtrend coming through here. It's pretty solid. Obviously a little wavering, really more of a channel now I'm looking at it. And you put it like here on the top end and somewhere along here on the bottom end. But they've obviously since broken out of that and moved up. So that being said, we've got uptrend here. And again, most of the time the 9MA will do good enough for you to spot a trend anyway. You know, if that's decreasing like that, yeah, you're in downtrend. It's going up, yeah, you're in an uptrend. So yeah, we got this uptrend here, started to get a little stagnant, broke out, came down, lost the 50. Okay. So yeah, things aren't exactly looking hot for this. I would be targeting 40 on the short side for sure. Under it, it's kind of no man's land. They haven't been under that in a long time, so I would definitely be afraid to go long on anything under 40. If there's a chance of a bounce at 40, it's probably about as good as it gets for a buy. And if you're targeting upside, just say buying here, then you got a decent bit of resistance above you on the weekly. Let's check the daily out. That is the 1 minute, not the daily. Yeah, you got a decent bit of resistance, so around like 48 and then 50. If they can get it back above, looks like 50, 51 area, then there's space. I'd probably just say like 54, 55. No, like really 54. 54 is the spot. 55 is at that point starting to be more of a support for the long side. So yeah, through 54, you got plenty of room to move up, say 58, 60. 62 could offer some resistance, but honestly, I'd probably, if they beat 60, they'll probably just go for it, try to get a new all-time high. And looking at it in a very short sense, if for some reason you wanted to play something in this last hour and a half, you might get a little bit of retracement, but overall it's pretty flat today, so I probably just wouldn't play it for scalps. 4 hour, got any targets? 4 hours pretty oversold, testing 9. Got space up to 47 if they actually get through it here, which so far they're basically trying to close like right around it on this 4 hour. The 1 hour chart. Yeah, you got a lot of descending resistance on this. I would probably expect to see the 40 tap before they start trying to move back up. That being said, though, they did just do a pretty big drop. It's in a weird spot. I would personally be waiting for it to either come down a little or break out of the top end of this. So like over 45, you could maybe go back for bullish, but it's still risky until you're past 46. But yeah, it's kind of an in-between one for me there.
We got some bullish flow on BMY. That's why we've been buying up.
BMY?
Yeah, that the one you're looking at right now. That's
What's
why.
it targeting?
We have 45C.
45, yeah, 45. Go
Yeah,
figure.
yeah.
Sounds like the spot I'd be looking for first.
Yep. So bingo.
All right. So yeah, I could definitely see a quick little run to 45, but they might stay under it though. I don't know if they'll beat it. That's 45 is the spot before they start trying to get back up there. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Next.
Yeah, I just made a really degen play. We'll see how it turns out.
Swips, did you want me to look at FIBN?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Oh wow.
Someone's maybe trying to scalp some premiums because it just crashed after earnings.
Bottom cat seems like.
Yeah. They got good support there at 25 right off rip on a daily. If it breaks under it, then they'll probably be targeting the 20 area almost immediately. There's a lot of price action though, 22.5. So I mean, there's a decent buffer zone, but 21's like the lower target there. Let's look at the weekly. Oh wow, this has really come from a lot. The one time I didn't do this check first. All right, let's take a.
Jesus, 211 was the.
Yeah, right.
Yikes.
And this is why I always check the full history of the stock. Because and there's high volume up there too.
Yeah.
You got 20 million shares exchanged around at that high. So there's some people that are trapped in there. I mean, I would hope that they'd all sold out somewhere from there, but I don't know. Maybe there's one degenerate dude with 10,000 shares still.
Long-term investors, man.
Yeah, you never know. He could be down 90% just hoping for the best. All right. So they got a lot of ground to make up if they. What is this? Hold on.
Oh, just an FYI, I'm taking my first 20% on
Software.
UNH right now. On my little degen play.
Yeah. Already paid, huh?
Yeah, I'd already paid.
I'm trying to do something and I forgot what I'm doing. Okay. I just want to get rid of this line tool so I can actually grab things. All right. So yeah, big descending there on the weekly. Go back to the daily now. And these are all. So okay, so the weekly 50 is sitting 32, and they're really just struggling to beat that since they've fallen off a bit. On the 1-day chart, you've got that 24 support and a 20 support under it. No, that's a 21, but I'm sure if 21 broke, they'd probably catch 20, you know? Yeah, I mean, if they can get it back over, right, they got the 100 on the daily, the 50, and the 9 all stacked up right here. If they could get a bounce at 24 and get up over it again, you could definitely see the 32 area, 31 area. And over that, they should be able to just straight up clear to like 36. Yeah, 36. That'd be the next target if they actually get out of this 31, 32 area here. But it's really, the situations like this where I just like to let them play out. I don't like to get too greedy with it when it's not a very clear signal, because there's so many trades that are always available to you in the market. There's just no reason to take something you don't feel good about. If you don't feel 100 on it, why take it? You can wait until you do. And if you never do, that's fine. There was something else to go make money on. Same deal, right? You could do the other side of that as well. You could be buying it just right off. Oh, I like it. And then if it goes red on you, just sell it. Take a 2% loss. Who cares? Lose $5. Come back later. It's all right. You be fluid. You don't got to always stay locked into stuff. And that's one of the biggest things with the way I trade is I'm super fluid. I almost never hold things.
Yeah, unlike me.
Yeah, but you hold stuff that it's same deal. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, granted you size them, but like, if you're trading some stuff that's like $10 a contract and then it falls, oh now they're $5 a con. Okay, well they're $5 a piece. I might as well just let that play out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, if you got 500 of them, you probably should have trimmed some of that. But everybody's situation is different. Just a little note in neuroplasticity.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for FIVN, what was the actual flow on that? Let me see. So it was a 27.5C with end of the year date. 27.5. I mean, that's right in the middle of the range, and they're under it right now. So if we bring it down to the smaller time frames, I'm sure there's some targets to start targeting. When was that flow from today, or was that from last night? Was ER?
It was today.
Okay, what's today's flow? Interesting. So I assume he's going to be trying to play off of that 24, 23. Or actually, wait, hold on. What was the support back there? Yeah, okay, it was 24. So I assume he's just trying to play off of the bottom of this channel here, which really should have been 25, and it kind of cracked it. Is there any chance that flow came in at, hold on, 10:30 or 11?
Let me double check. Sorry, I was.
First flow came in for me at 5 p.m., so that's 11 a.m. for you.
So around that.
Yeah,
time.
okay, so that would make sense for that buy there. If they broke through the 50 on the short end of the thing, that would have been, okay, maybe we're going to start going back up. And they had opened up there 27.5, so it's probably what triggered the entry. And then, he's got the time on it. So if it doesn't go, which it didn't, and it just flatlined instead, well, you go back to your big thing. I mean, you're talking December, so we got a couple months on it. So daily to weekly chart, maybe the 4-hour. Yeah, that's a pretty solid play. I'm sure he would prefer to be above 25 rather than under it right now. But overall, targeting the middle of the channel from the bottom of the channel is a pretty safe play. And if it all goes to hell, I'm sure he'll probably be exiting somewhere around 23.5, unless he really wants to hold that. But I would assume that flow is targeting a play that's bottom of the daily channel, trying to target the middle of the channel. And then best case scenario, he goes in the money and he gets a sell somewhere around 30, which is the top of this current channel. I think that about wraps up for what I see here. It's pretty much, it's kind of in an in-between spot. It's been channeling out since May, so I just watch those levels.
Swip, does
25 and
all
30.
this stuff make sense to you? I know you're new to analysis, so I'm just making sure you're grasping some of it at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of info for sure, but it's not rocket science, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. And for the record, anybody that's in here or watching this in post, my DMs are open. You can ask me anytime. This is all I do. Sometimes I'm busy doing other things, but as far as for income and whatnot, this is it. This is bread and butter for me. All I do is stare at charts and trade mostly SPY. But if something interesting comes up, I'll take it. But SPY is my specialty because it's actually because of the charting. The charting is super stable on SPY. It almost never misses with SPY. There's just too much money in it for it to fail. The big money controls it. Let's see. Granted, I remember them saying that about banks in 2008, so nothing is too big to fail. AMD. Now, are you saying that because I hate AMD, or because you actually want me to look at AMD, Dylan?
Let's just look at it. I think Dylan wants us to look at AMD.
No, AMD is still a popular stock, and it did eventually get over that 100 level that plagued us for a year straight. Fucking AMD, man. I haven't opened this chart since that whole deal.
Sube? Yeah, Sube kind of screwed us a while back, right? Oh, Sube.
So AMD actually almost put up the fattest head and shoulders ever on this weekly, but they broke through it. That would have been something, though. Anyway, so we got, that's just an IPO low. Oh, no, it's not an IPO low. For how long AMD? Damn. Yeah. AMD has been around for a very long time, but I didn't realize it was that long. Alright, sorry, I'm having a moment reminiscing on this. Alright, for AMD, I mean, it looks pretty bullish right now. Weekly's up and accelerating. Does have a high to go re-reach, and it broke out of what would have been a head and shoulders on the weekly anyway. On the hourly, however, it's a slightly different story. Still looks bullish, but they're in the middle of their MAs now, trying to sort things out. Go a little bigger. Okay, 4 hours still holding good. So they're riding the 4 hour trend, and the 1 hour is starting to fall apart. I assume the daily still looks good. Yeah, daily as expected. Okay, so we're looking at a 4 hour to 1. So the 4 hour, we're riding the 50 with a descending 9. And keep in mind again, guys, in my brain is, calculations of trend line going on, but again, with moving averages, they tend to just end up creating that trend line for you anyway. But for those that are new, I'll just go ahead and stick one down as a quick example again. You find your low, find your next low, and we'll just do this one real quick just for an example. Extend this out to the right for me. How did that do? So it rode it, got away from it off the 9, broke, flatlined, hit the 50, hit the trend line, then 100, back over. And since it's, you see the trend line, it's been there, getting worked over and over. We'll go ahead and leave it there because it's actually relevant to what we're looking at right now. So in here, we've got that trend line from the start of this trend, staying on the 50, and the 9 is descending. On the 1 hour, things are quite messy. The trend line's down there, sitting, 160 is for the trend line. We got 169, 200. 200 on the hourly. Good hold. I would assume, do they have,
AMD has earnings next week.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, where's the last one? I didn't even see one. Yeah. So this is coming up. Alright. So with an earnings next week, riding the 200 with the daily and the 4 hour looking pretty bullish. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. That looks pretty tasty. I like a 50 getting over a 200 with a bullish. The 9's not there yet. They can hang out up here for another 30 minutes or so, though. That'd be good for me and EOD scalp. Try to target the high of the day again. But AMD also isn't the craziest mover for an EOD scalp. So 1 minute, pretty much giving the same message. Alright, so then, yeah, it's pretty much just a big time frame thing if we're talking about earnings anyway. Targets for that, I would look. Yeah, I'd be looking for probably the 180 to 190 mark on a positive earnings, with 180 being the more solid target there. If it breaks 180 and 190, yeah, go figure. That's almost 190. Yeah, I think 180 would be the first stop. If it gets through there, you're almost definitely probably just gonna head straight to 200. 190 doesn't have a lot of price action. There's not people trapped in there or nothing. 200 though is a big flat number. If AMD's earnings are for some reason really good, you could see an all-time high test again, but that's a lot of juice. On the lower end of things, 160 would be the first target, break through the trend line, and the dailies? No, it's 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours got the levels around there. And then past that, looks like 140 or 50. Let's see what's 150 got. Previous price action. Remember, guys, from the crash course, as far as your supports and resistances, just look for a nice flat level. In most exchanges, if you're on mobile, you can hold on your phone, it'll pop up one of these crosses. You'll always be able to just basically put, okay, what's 150? You put your price level there, and you can just look along and see, does it come up and stop? Does it then break through? Stuff like right here, for instance, it did come up 150, it stopped, dropped back, and then it broke through 150, and then they got a ton more. And when they came back, where did they go to? Right about that 150 mark. So you can, just quick glances like that can give you quick support and resistance levels. Looks like 133 actually has had a decent bit of action around it as well. Yeah, so for this on a bad earnings, I'd look at 160 as the first stop, and then probably I would target like 145, honestly, more than 150. Because 150 is a little bit messier, it looks like, than 145 as far as the support. It seemed more like 150 was more of a resistance than a support, if that makes sense. See, I'd probably target 145 on the low side, and then if that cracks somewhere around 120, looks to be the next area where things are pretty important. And you also got a good MA lineup there on the weekly. So yeah, I'd say 200 high side. 180 with the closest target, but I mean, it's AMD. I doubt they won't move at all on their earnings. They typically have a decent move. These earnings back in February didn't do much. What kind of flow does AMD have?
Had some call flow is what I'm skeptical on call flow. So
That sounds sensible. It looks
192.5.
pretty bullish right now.
Okay, that's good. So maybe some good earnings. Maybe it'll mess up
Yeah,
with.
if there's good earnings, it'll definitely have room to move up.
Can you check W for me?
Walmart?
No, Wayfair.
Wayfair. Right, Walmart is WMT, isn't it? Or is that Waste? I don't know. I don't look enough other tickers.
WMT is Walmart. Yeah, WMT is Walmart. Yeah.
Waste Management is W. Anyway, all right, looking at Wayfair. How is this company still in business? The entire world called them trafficking humans.
I don't know. It's just cheap, and I think people are way more cheaper than they care about trafficking. So.
Dude, it's crazy. I had never heard of them until that whole debacle, and now I see their trucks driving around my town, and I'm like, what the?
some of my furniture is from Wayfair before I found out all about that stuff. Just now I don't buy from them.
Yeah, I think they're the best example of the publicities thing. It's like, hey, all publicity is good publicity. Because that's definitely bad publicity, and they got way bigger at it.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on. Wayfair. Let me go to the big time frames first. Well, they're on off there. Scroll to max and take a look.
I forgot they were $300 at one point. Oh my god, I forgot that too.
Please. All right. I mean, the safer play is short thanks to that 200 on the weekly. However, it's also the perfect breakout spot if they ever want to go back to retesting highs on a macro level. Now on the closer stuff, so got an earnings coming up?
Monday morning.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Daily looks pretty bullish. Weekly, pretty bullish, but you're running into that. So this is like the resistance to finally beat all of this badness they've had. I actually want to look. Hold on. Let me get the monthly up too on this, just because of how much action this has over time. Can I get that over all time? Thank you. I assume that's going to line up with the weekly. Not really. Okay, so if they beat here, I guess you technically have a monthly resistance on the 80, but it's really not
All right,
built
yeah,
up like that.
because we just got that was a 60p for 8.8 that came in. However, it was a bullish. No, it was a short diagonal bullish put. Basically, they're calling for a bigger move to the upside. It's what what
Yeah.
I'm seeing. So they're expecting a
Well,
big push to the upside, and also Slylas on the flow discussion in Unusual Whales posted about W rolled from 57.5 to 75 to now 71. So their rolling call seems like, but I think overall, I think if you're saying it's bullish, I mean this when I dig deeper into the chart more, in the chart the flow more, it's showing me a a short bullish triangle situation, right? So
yeah,
diagonal.
that's the thing is it's in a weird spot right now because it has it's pretty high in a close range sense. It's at the top of its channel almost,
Yeah.
which is really around 75, which you said is where those strikes are coming in, right? Around 70s for the rolls.
60 for the no for rolls, yeah, 71. 75 and 71 was the roll.
Yeah, bottom of the top of the channel and the top of the top of the channel. All
Yeah.
right. So, all right. Yeah, I mean they've got that coming up. They've got at least $10 of space there, but currently that weekly 200 I think is the most important part there. Breaking out over that is one hell of a bullish signal. I mean they got the rising 9 coming for it. 50 will follow sometime. If they get over that, keep it. Then the chart goes bullish on the macros again. And from there, they can pretty much, everything else is already there on the short term. They look pretty bullish. If I scroll through all of these, it's nothing but uptrend. I guess the shorter time frames will have our red from this week, but even that, it's
All
holding
right.
this 200.
So yeah,
It's fine.
seems like a bullish move then.
What they're going for is the test of this. It might fail because this is a very heavy, all the big ass money that's been in this since 300 or whatever that high was.
Yeah.
They're watching this line. So, it could definitely just be, oh, hey, cool, a sell point. But with it also being at the top of the channel, all those people have had this sell before.
Yeah.
So
and
there's
they
plenty of
haven't,
potential to, they're ready for more now.
Yeah, they might.
And like
If
we
they
were
have a good
discussing,
earnings, yeah, they might just pass through. So
yeah, we've been seeing these Wayfair trucks around, so I guess the business it's doing business. I see good earnings reports. They're positive, positive, positive. Couple
I
negatives
mean, yeah,
there.
like you said, that there's nothing left until I mean, 70 has a decent amount of pushback on the positive GEX, and then you
Yeah, no,
have
that's on top
70,
of this.
yeah, and then you have
70 is
75 is the next one that comes in too with higher positive GEX, and that right after that you have nothing basically stopping
they could
it.
maybe try to stop 90 because of this little high
Yeah,
from
that's kind
back
of what I'm
in
seeing. Yeah,
last year.
90s maybe.
But there's not a lot stopping it if they can get past the 200, and then especially if they beat that 75 mark, which
Honestly,
is the
might
top
be
of their
a
channel.
honestly might be a good lot of earnings to get a little bit out
Yeah,
of.
I was just thinking. I was gonna
Yeah,
let you finish it, but I was thinking this has potential for a banger. Give it
yeah.
a
I mean, if it
little
does
bit of
have good
time.
earnings, let me take a look at what past earnings have done real quickly. That way I can keep an eye on. I mean,
All
past
these little blue light bulbs with the numbers at the bottom of my chart are earnings days. Just so you know. So
Okay.
each one, and I can hover over it. I don't. Can you guys see that pop up that comes up there?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I can check it like that. Last earnings. Oh, wow. Yeah, they were expecting a bad earnings and then did well, and it's been all money since.
Yeah, I mean
So if they put another positive earnings down, yeah, they could break out.
their earnings so far have been pretty not. I mean, they've had good ones, but they've also not really
Yeah, they've had some
pushed.
nasty ones back in 23.
Yeah, Q1 25 also did miss by 0.25 is what they're saying, on unusual whales, and then Q4 2024 was almost a 1.0 miss. So maybe if they do end up having a better than expected earnings this time around, I have a feeling that we might see an actual squeeze out of Wayfair. So
Yeah, no.
that might be a thing I might take.
I don't know the short float on it, but there's plenty of reason to short Wayfair in this scenario, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's jacked up.
Yeah, let me look at insider transactions real quickly. No data found. Really? You don't want to give me any data for this?
Top secret.
Top secret, is it? Higher sell premium.
There's a lot of sells.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a lot of high sell premium on there. Let me look at short data as well. If it loads, it'll be great. It doesn't want to load. I think my computer.
Steel sold as early as last week.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up for me. I mean, they got to get past 75. Past that, they could maybe stop at 90, but I'd honestly be a little surprised if this holds as any kind of weighted area.
As of 7/31, there's 564,000 short volume with the total volume of 2.20. So, I mean,
Yeah, could be a potential banger hanging out in this little area.
yeah, maybe if we do end up getting,
I'll put some alerts on it.
yeah, something I might be interested
As a matter of fact,
might be something
I will put an alert on it.
interested in. Right. So, to the downside, what do we have for support on the downside? You said.
On the downside of it, we obviously got the bottom of the channel, which is about 40 mark.
Okay.
Lower than that, it appears to drop down to about 28. We could say 30. Give it some catch. Yeah, 30. Yeah, 30. I'd give it just kind of $10 increments. 40, then 30. Kind of scanning around. Nothing really too crazy on the weekly for big macro supports. Let's take a look for some smaller stuff. All right. If we have a bad earnings, yeah, 55 is a pretty significant level. I'd target 55 first, and they got a rising 50 here. So, you said when was earnings for them?
Monday morning.
Oh, so that's really close.
Yeah. Expected move is $7 actually. So.
Yeah, it really depends on the earnings. If it's nothing crazy, then it might be the most likely move for them to actually just drop back and go towards this 50 area.
Oh my, they're expensive though.
However,
Holy
if they have
moly.
some really good news, it could be a catalyst for a break up. But like 55 to 50 definitely has some money waiting to buy back in.
They are expensive, by the way. Contracts for next week, so just an FYI. An 80 call is sitting at $55 a piece, which is kind of expensive in my opinion for an 80 call.
It's pretty out there for that much.
Yeah, wow.
I want to be like 40, maybe 35.
Probably 20 for an 80, to be honest. I would like to be 50 at like 75 if that's because if that's $10 out right now. So $80 is a $15 out move. So that's.
You get a $20 entry. That means I get a 30. So yeah, that's still getting these crazy ass entries sometimes, man.
I know, right?
I swear you're just beating the bid to death.
Dude, I do. I leave a bid on set in the morning sometimes, and then it fills. It's just how I do it. Like I refuse to sometimes buy at the ask. Like unless it's a last minute move, I refuse. I will wait. I will wait until I get filled.
Jay-Z, right? Just a little, right? We see this little spy put going around $33. He's like, well, I want it for 30. I'll just buy 5,000 and knock out all of these one of them.
Oh man,
that'll get me some of them at 30. But nah. All right. So yeah, I mean, on this really, I'd probably be targeting like 55 to 50 area
On the
low
downside.
side.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if it's just barely negative or something, then you could maybe just see it go back to 60 and chill out. But I'd be pretty surprised to see it break the 9 with volume and not
Got it.
chill out. But I'm also looking at a daily. I'm sure if we go down to the 1 hour and stuff, yeah, we got some catches in there. So we got 62 on the 1 hour, and the 4 hour is got 60, 57, and 55. However, they are currently doing across. Oh yeah, so right now the 9's dropping under the 50, and they are trying their ass off to save it. If that fails, then we'll probably see 60 and then 55. But
Let's do one more.
I
I know Swift wants to check out Amazon. Then it's already 3 o'clock. I know this is our trading time. So if you want to just go a quick brief on Amazon, and then we'll let you go.
mean, I can even hang out here and do some. It is Friday on a dangerous day. I really don't know if I'm gonna take anything yet.
Oh, yeah, so then I can keep a look at flow and
yeah, we'll just kind of we'll free ball it from here forward.
Sounds good.
If I want to take a trade, I'll just take it in front of everybody. We'll do it as a group activity.
Group activity. Oh boy, talk about not financial advice, right? Yikes.
All right. Jeez. Wow.
SEC's knocking on the door right now on your door, Pat.
They're like, don't do this. And I'm like, what, man? I'm just here gambling. This is not financial advice. All right. Amazon.
I am trying, Scepter. I'm trying to get more value coming into the group. I'm hoping to have, fingers crossed, I'm hoping to have Nicholas next week doing GX and Periscope for unusual whales. That's a goal I have for next week. But yeah, overall, I'm trying to get added a little bit more stuff just rather than flow, because this kind of opens everybody's eyes to different things, right? So maybe I can get Pat to help us out, maybe once every 2 weeks or something. We can have like a little charting session with him. You know, that way on days he's not busy. So that just helps everybody out a little bit more and understand some stuff, you know? So
Trading shouldn't be that hard. I always, my entire life I was told, oh yeah, stock market, you make a bunch of money, but you gotta have money to make money. And that is true to make serious money.
I started off with $500.
I'm not a rich guy, and I live off the money.
That is false. I started off with $500. I mean, if you do it the right way.
That same here. I started off with $500.
If you do it the right way.
And when COVID dropped came, I turned that. Or no, it wasn't even $500. I started with $250. And the first night of the COVID drops, I turned $250 into $2,500, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is a real thing? Okay. And it's snowballed since then. That piqued my interest. I was like, oh my god, I just existed 1,000%. That's cool, I think. How do I do this? Why did I make this money?
Yeah.
And that's where my learning started. And I don't think I've worked any 9-to-5 job other than I run a smoke shop on the weekends. But that's that's just for fun. That's not the $100 I get for that is not paying my bills. But yeah, it's definitely possible to make a living even without a lot of money on the market.
Yeah.
And that I feel like, the people that go around here and like, oh, give me $500 a month to teach you. No, why? What? That might be useful for somebody with $1 million, but somebody trading $1 million probably doesn't need your teaching anymore.
Yeah.
All right. But before I go too off topic at that point, just giving a little background. Amazon. Well, it dropped right into their daily ranges. Wow, yeah, that's some pretty nasty action. I see where the pain was now. I was just hearing about it. I hadn't looked. So, you're talking bag holding some calls and hoping for the best. Weekly, losing the 9, but you still got, the typical 50 support and the 100 sitting under it. But wouldn't want to be bag holding anywhere past the 50 probably. Really, I mean, you could maybe do a little bit, but like if it were to drop 200, I wouldn't want to be hanging out in longs. I might enter some longs at 200 as a gamble, but I wouldn't want to be holding, if I bought them up here and then it was all the way down, like, yeah, I should be out by then. Really, for me, my exit would have been the 9.
So Swips, I think we're screwed is what he's saying to us, right?
It depends on the
I mean, honestly, if it drops to 205, there is really no point even exiting, right? It's more transaction
it's like
cost.
if you're down there, it's probably already too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already down I think I'm down 80% on the calls that I took yesterday. So
Yeah, it hurt when I woke up. I mean, I should have thought about my gut feeling when they said, "Hey," my gut was like, "Take all your profits. Like, don't even leave any runners." I should have just done that, but I didn't because I don't know why. And now,
same greed, man, greed.
yeah, it's a real thing. But I mean, at least I made money off of it at least, so I didn't like lose a lot of out of Amazon. So just not a bad thing.
Yeah, all the short time frames got absolutely
Smoked,
smoked.
yeah, it seems like it.
So it's just daily and weekly. Daily, you do got support at 210, and you need to get back over 217, which was, go figure, today's open. Just opened it right on the 50. And then since they just was it a morning rise type of deal? Is that what we did? Yep, sure enough, they opened on it, tried to beat it, failed, and they've been kind of under since. That's the fun part with these MAs and why I never changed them after I taught them. It's just the picture is always perfect. You can see it, and after you've been using them for a while, it's you can just guess what happened within the candles. You're like, oh, okay, open and then a wick over. Yeah, I already know that was the morning trying to save it. Yeah, I've used 210 as an absolute stop loss on that. How much time do you guys have on them?
I don't have much time. You know how I play.
Got until
yeah,
the
you're
end of
probably
August.
cooked on them. Probably just dead play, but
Yeah, it's okay.
210 is the absolute bottom. I wouldn't want to go any lower than 210. If for some reason some
I'm just
news or something
holding.
comes, you could maybe do. I don't even. I wouldn't recommend a re-average, but you maybe could.
No, dude. Mine expires next week. I'm good.
Yeah,
It's just
you
gonna.
know, I don't.
It's
I
fine. It's
can't
just gonna
necessarily
die.
call that a good move, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
maybe
just gonna
horrible.
die worthless. It's okay. I'm okay with that.
Um,
Mine are in play until September.
You
So
got
I've
some
got some time
time.
left.
You got some time in
yeah,
you.
you got a month.
So
Um,
anything can happen in a month, man. Maybe somebody has some
yeah, I
AI
mean,
news come on. Amazon just pumps to 300. You know, who knows?
how long? How many days are right here? All right, this is the 25th. It's the 30th. Yeah, I mean, it's not like Amazon doesn't move. It's not impossible for you to get out of that if you got a September expiration. Just don't let it go past 210. That would be my absolute bottom dollar in that position. I would not want to be in it past 210. And honestly, I'd probably, if I'm down 80%, depends on how much what your capital of that, like what that 20% is for you.
Yeah, liquid
But for
wise,
me,
yeah.
it'd probably be the point where I'm like, whatever, I'll let it ride. See how it goes.
No,
And
yeah, I'm
then
letting it ride for sure. I was just thinking about maybe averaging with 1 or 2 extra cons.
yeah, I'd wait for 210 to do it. However, again, down that bad, nowhere is technically bad to do it if you're gonna hold it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, I was
But
just
obviously, you don't
wondering
want to
what's the
waste.
point where you're just throwing good money after bad money, right? So if it's 210, it's good to know.
Yeah, I would probably wait for 210. At least then you'll get the biggest discount possible on your re-average.
Yeah. I know that
But
Mia
yeah, I think
spoke about this at like 5 a.m.
Cool,
for our
cool.
time, so got up. I was like, oh yeah, whoopsies.
Yeah,
it's definitely an
shit
interesting
happens, man.
chart.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, it's trading. There's nothing you can do. That's just what it is. That's how it works, right?
And then Jay-Z wonders why I barely trade the ERs, even though I really want to. I
Listen,
hate
man,
them overnight. Wake up to an L.
I can't not do it, man. That's just my addiction. No matter what
Oh yeah,
happens.
no, hey, and keep doing it. You're doing it right. The best ER trader I ever seen.
This week has been a
Alright.
little rough though. It's been a little rough on the week this week, but
Okay, man. 1 week for me watching you do this for like 3 years with barely any misses. What's a bad week? All right. What else we got to look at? I got a little more time before SPX gets nice and cheap. Actually, let me go ahead and put those up real quick so I don't miss my optimal. All right. First off, give me my SPY chart real quick. What do we
you're gonna
got
use
at here?
16 cents on these SPXs, I'm guessing, right?
Sorry, one moment. I'm now locked in. 6:15. Okay. Smoked rents 4 hour. I need.
Guys, this will be like a good in-person watch of how he actually does stuff towards the end of the day too, which is important to keep an eye on how
Just
he.
start searching through my time frames and
Yeah.
seeing what's relevant. Okay, so down to the scalp frames. 5 minutes got all kind of stoppers on it. But nothing stops spy bowls at the end of the day if they want to do it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
dude,
1
that's
minute looks
crazy.
nice and spicy. Okay, hold on. There might be something to aim for. 1 minute's got some interesting stuff going on in here. They're getting ready for some kind of end of day. Question is, what's it going to be? 9 is probably going to flow back down a little. And these are all going to stay stable because they're 5-minute levels and there's only 40 minutes left. So 22, 23.5, 24.5, 26. Which on this equates to, can I get a smaller time frame over here? I don't remember how to use this little chart. I almost never do. I just kind of leave this over here to see S&P's actual number on the index.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go over here and take a look at some SPX options. God, what? I hate that they made these 24 hours. Why is there 40 minutes left on, or 50 minutes left on the day, and it's still $400, 10 points out of the money?
Yep.
They fucked it all up a couple of years ago, man. This used to be so much easier.
Yep.
I remember buying these for like $100 at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting that anymore.
Nah, dude. Now I got all that's the thing is this is why I wasn't worried about it because nowadays I can't even trade the trades that I like my big banger trades. I can't do it till the last 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
They're all just so expensive on premium, but I can get ready at least, and I can watch people lose a ton of money in the meantime. So let's go ahead and pull up a 62.25 for now.
That's funny.
I'll do the short side, and then we'll just let that develop over there while we keep looking at charts. Watching real time as this moves $50. All right, what kind of charts we got to look at? We got W. We did ON. We did a little earlier. Did Skeptor catch the ON, or would we like a quick recap on that?
I think he would like a quick recap on that. I think we went. We were talking about it being.
It was one of the first ones we did.
Yeah, I think it was a put, but then we seemed bullish on it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and then we figured out it was a spread or some sort of thing like that. Also, UNH premium guys just boosted, and I just took 50% off those 300s. Just an FYI. So I just gotta sell them.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely got supports under it. 65 is the spot they want to flip back over.
What came
so
in
60 is
for
pretty
ON?
key.
Let me check what came in
And
for
it's
ON.
sitting on these.
Yeah, all P's came in. So I know that you said that it overly looks calls-ish. It looks like it's pushing upwards, right? Or did we say downwards? Yeah, it's a multi. So the last ones that came in were all multis.
Those were the ones targeting the
spread.
Is this 75? Or was that the W? That's one of those.
Let me double check the spread.
Too many charts, too much info. Too many numbers.
Pass extreme pause.
Oh, come back. All right.
Let's take a peek again. Where's the multi?
Oh, hey, since I pulled this up, whoever's was in that up there has lost $70 per con. Sucks to be them. Yeah, SPX, there's still always money to be made, but you got to be so fast because of the theta burn. And I hate to have so much premium on the table when it can just disappear in a heartbeat.
I'm not sure. Did we call this bullish or bearish? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, ON, honestly, it's one of those ones where it's like right in the middle of it. It's in a decision point, right? The targets on the lower side, it's going to be 50. Oh yeah, I remember this. But yeah, we did it in $10 increments. That's what it was. It's just 50, 40, 30, moving pretty much $10 increments.
Yeah.
Right now, they're in the middle of trying to get back to a 60 test, and if they can get over it, 65 has a. Well, that's really more of a support. So I wouldn't. It'll end up being some resistance, but they'll probably flip that, and then 70 will be actual resistance on the upside of it. If they can clear all that, though, past like 80, 85, they got plenty of room to the upside to go for an all-time high again.
Yeah.
Check again. Discord is breaking its own. Okay.
All right.
There we
Anybody?
go.
Yeah. Anybody has anything they want to check as well? So, let me go back up and see if there's anything else we missed, maybe. But yeah, anything else everybody has? Please post down there, charts wise. We are going into the last 45 minutes of the day. Definitely important to see if there's anything else. I know we can see some live action soon from SPX. So just keep in mind we're gonna try and look at that as well. So GGTXPR. No, Dylan, we're not looking at Safe Moon. Okay.
Safe Moon.
Oh my god, I haven't heard Safe Moon in so long.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god. TGTX.
What is it?
TGTX. We have ER
Gotcha.
on pre-market.
Oh, well, there we go. Damn. Made
Yeah.
some money since IPO. Okay. This is interesting. Go ahead and just stick one of these down real quick. Where? Right to there.
What was that?
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's not really in any other trends right now. Maybe there might be something miniature going on from this candle to this candle that might spread down to where we're at, but I don't think it's worth actually trying to chart that just to see it like tap here or something. All right, so now that we got that all in a setup lookable way, favorites weekly. All right, so we got 32.5 for the moving 50. The 9's pretty much right. Yeah, they're testing it all over on the daily or the weekly. So pretty slow moving stock, I take it. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at this daily chart. So we got a little channel built here based off their trend line and the MAs, and they just slipped down and hit the 200 day. That's interesting. What's the flow looking like? Is it short flow, or are they looking for a bounce? Because it is pretty strong off of it. I could definitely see a move to try and get back over 40.
TGTX seems like I don't know, man. It's kind of a mix.
It's kind of mixed. That's exactly how I'm feeling about it at glance. I'm like,
mix. A lot of multis involved in this.
Yeah. I mean, they're sitting right on the support from that daily 200. It's like 34. Under that, 32.5 kind of has a little traction, but not really. Looks like
there's a long put calendar
30.
on there.
Yeah, I'd be aiming for a $5 area either way, but I'd probably be more gauged towards long right now just because of the 200. But again,
Yeah,
this is a scenario.
seems like the
It's
highest
so close on
volume,
the
yeah.
chart. I'd look at the flow, and then if that was also messy, I'd probably just sit on my hands. And
Yeah, I
if it
think
goes
I'm
the way I
I'm
thought,
definitely
stay
gonna
darn.
sit on my hands on this one.
You know, this one's a bit messy. I don't know if I'd want to play it. Unless you see something egregious come in last minute.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I will say calls definitely look okay there because of the 200 bounce, and it does have room, but it could just as easily break through that, and then they got plenty of room to downside. So, it's the first touch in a while on that daily 200. And the last one actually looks like it was its daily low. Hold on. Can I get just a little more space in my chart? Okay, that was just of that year. So yeah, they came from down there. I just kind of... Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a good bit of room down. I don't know if it looks like that wants to snap just yet. It's an interesting spot. And even if it did snap, they'd probably just catch the fucking weekly anyway. Yeah, I think I have a slight bullish lean on that, but it's pretty much just a gamble in my eyes. That's a 50-50, maybe 60-40.
Actually, Skeptor, I think ON might. I just dwelled into a little bit more. Seems that strangle was changed, and now it's like a 4-leg calendar coming up on the 47 puts. So I honestly, in my eyes, I would probably just stay away from it because it's too much crap going on. But I mean, there is room all the way to 47, so that's also there. That's a big move down. That's like 18%, right? Expected move for that is supposed to be around $4. So maybe if they have really bad earnings, you're gonna break through and get good result. I mean, um, good money from that. But again, I think just with all the activity that's coming through, which is like neutral side, I'm seeing some neutral sides. I'm seeing more multis coming in. It doesn't make any sense to me to go. There's a roll that happened from 54, I think, to 49 closer, going closer in the money. And then you have some 47. Hold on, there's some 47 P's with. Here, let me pull this up real quickly. I want to just make sure I'm giving you the right information before I say yes or no to something. 47P has so the highest thing is 2K. So if I click on the 2K premium, you're looking at click on 2K premium. You are looking at actually let's look at the 8K premium and see if there's any multis on that. Yeah, so you're looking at 61 815, a 47 815, a 55 10 17, and a 55 10 17 P and the C. So you have basically what they're saying is they want the stock to stay in between 55 and 55, I think, and then the outermost regions are going to be 61 and 47, right? So it's hard to gauge as to what they want to do with this, right? So I'm more so that I don't want to try and play with this just because it's not solid. It's like it's a guesstimate, right? I mean, we're fine guesstimating if you want to take a gamble, but I think that it's not a surefire thing. So I'm not gonna play with that. So that's just the thing on ON, by the way. So
So I just want to touch on what Swift said, but yeah, PCG is indeed moving. Lots of shares getting bought right now. Not seeing too much red on the tape. I mean, now stuff's starting to come in, but this whole time you were talking, I was watching this. Oh, here's the red. That's the first sell. Interesting. Did you want me to actually give this PCG a little bit in depth? I see you're talking about approaching a break even. I can give it a little look over if you'd like. All right. So let's take a look. I'm gonna close the time and sales here. 16 calls. Okay, wait. 16 calls, not 16 calls. All right, so let's see here. 16. Yeah, that's a good target. For a second, I thought you meant you had 16 of them. I was like, whoa. Okay.
he probably has more.
Yeah, he's like, I actually have 616 calls. But no, those are probably not that expensive. I assume it's pretty out there in a small cap. Actually, I don't know if it's small cap, but small strike. Yeah, 16 is definitely not a bad target. I got to beat this 50 here on the daily, but I think I saw. Yeah, the weekly was what was interesting to me while I was talking. So the weekly was doing pretty good for a while. Cracked through on what appears to be earnings. Oh, really? They gave out dividends and then shat the bed? That must have been news or something. I wonder what happened there. Yeah, interesting. There's just big volume sells on it. It must be news related events or something, or just MM stuff. I'm not sure there. Or there's something going on in the time frame I'm not looking at yet. But what I found interesting is that the weekly, after going through all of its levels, has since expanded out. And oh, wait, something I gotta check while we're here. Okay, interesting. So the monthly is actually really down bad, which means that I'm now 2 for 2 on the one time, or now 2 times that I didn't check this is the times where it's something that was $1 bajillion in the past.
A
Okay.
bajillion dollars is a lot.
Yeah, maybe not a bajillion, but way more than it is now. So the actual high is 71 all time. Where's our big macro levels of the past? Okay, so there's like a steady, kind of like $8. Yeah, like $8 seems to be pretty good, and then 10 is a more solid number. Okay, well, if it fails, then expect to see 10 next right off. My first thoughts is what I'm thinking.
Can you when you're done with it, can you check FRPT as well, please? We have earnings coming up on Monday.
So my thoughts with this to finalize after actually looking through it all. I think that this weekly push through the 9 is very promising. You've got the 200 on the weekly that they're going to want to at least go try again right near your strike. It's a little under, but they push up, get a little over, fall back. It's a weekly chart I'm looking at. They'll have time to do both ends of it when they get there. I could definitely, if they keep this and close this week above this, and then they have a good earnings, 16 is very much plausible. 15 would be the first stop due to back here, but
they had earnings last night, I think.
Oh yeah, okay, so they just had it, and then they so I see it now. I think they seem to have done okay on their earnings. They're keeping their uptrend going after a bit of a dip down. Yeah, as long as they hold above this weekly level, like if Monday opens and we're still above $14, I think you're safe with those. Granted, I don't know your expiration, but on an upside, that's about where I'd be targeting to.
It's end of September. I always play long dated options.
Okay, yeah, so then you've got some space there. I think that should be okay.
Also, those W puts we were talking about earlier, seems like someone is closing them. Their entry was about 1.10, and now I'm getting more side options coming at 1.2, which possibly could mean somebody is closing those puts, some of those puts, not all of it, but some. So just an FYI on that as well. Sorry, 2.10 to 2.20. Sorry, not 1 point.
Yeah, it's definitely bullish on the short range for PCG. Definitely. All the big time frames, they have the old highs kind of pushing down on the NAs, but as far as 4 hour and up, it looks pretty good. I think that's a pretty alright play right there. I don't think it's deadly or nothing. I'd be a little bit worried if you start to get under 13.5 to 13. I definitely wouldn't want to be in it under 13. But yeah, I think that should be okay.
He's
what
gonna
did you look at, Jason?
FRPT.
Fresh bet. Okay, it's an interesting 4 hour chart. Man, was this an earnings deal?
Yeah, Monday morning.
It was indeed an earnings deal.
Okay. Monday morning.
I assume this hasn't been around for more than 20 years. The name like Fresh Pet? Nope. Okay. Interesting. So, macro levels. Looks like the 40s are the super low support there. 60 has a lot of price action, but I don't know if I could. I'd expect a slowdown there, but I wouldn't call it support. And we're obviously getting down near there. Yeah, the weekly picture is definitely interesting. Let's see, moving up now to the closer ranges. Daily looks like it's about to traumatize someone. 4 hours not looking so hot either. That is just a nasty 4 hour $100 loss. In what do I have this set to? Like 180? Yeah, that's pretty nasty. All right. The 1 hour was pretty stable until they got clapped this week, which is most of the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for this one, I don't know. I think I'd be leaning towards the short side, but they are
Yeah.
also pretty
Yeah,
heavily sold.
that is. I mean, I got an FRPT 815 60p that came in, but it has a side of an NONE, which is none. I mean, it's like they can't decide for the side on it, but
So
it's a
that's a
decent.
60p.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of premium on it though, but it's also a multi with no real side to it, which is why I'm like, this kind of looks fishy altogether. But I just want you to look at this stock in general and see what's.
Yeah, I think 60 is a target, that's for sure. 60 is definitely, that's the first short side target I was looking at, besides the macro, which is down at 20 or 40 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it
But
could be
close range,
it could be a
yeah.
short multi, so short multi put. So I don't really know per se exactly what it is, but there's also an
Yeah,
X'd out person of it, so I don't really know.
for me, I'm kind of in the page of what that flow is like. I am leaning short, but not heavily because there is some space to regain. But this is also, this was a one-time thing. Their stock was always under $100. Then they had this earnings back here, which says that it failed, but they shot through anyway. And then they did a big rally up and collapsed.
Yeah.
And now they're back under those levels. So I would look for 80 on the upside, 60 on the downside. If they break 60, somewhere between 50 and 40.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. You want to take a look at comp as our last one
Yeah,
for
I
Swips,
did
and
see
then
that.
we'll go into SPX afterwards because we're coming up on the last bit. So.
Yeah, I see my contracts are starting to come towards the price I like. They're getting there over here. All right. Let's take a look at. Oh no, not my settings tab. Thanks. No, not that one either. Why is it moving around? Stop moving. All right. Time interval max. 17. Relatively new company. What is this? Compass. I have no idea what that is. All right. So IPO, little bit up, shit the bed, hit $1.80 at the lowest, and since then kind of been flat up until late last year. Okay. So we got a $5 support on it on the weekly. Take a look at the daily now and start really getting into stuff. Yeah, so there's a little support here at 5-ish. Really, it's hanging kind of over 5. I'd be more inclined to say 535, but I'd probably just play 5. Flat numbers are nice for stocks. 6 has a lot of price action. This is definitely interesting. So on the daily, it looks like they're going pretty bullish, honestly. Probably target 9 or 10 if they have anything positive going on. Looks like an earnings pretty recent. Yeah, just on the 30th. And they held all their support. Yeah, I think this is good for bullish continuation. If they were gonna reject it, 8 probably this could be the area to stop, honestly, since they only have that little bit over there. And there's definitely a bit of flatness in this spot. But it's nothing super solid. I like the stock. I think it might go back up, see some more of these highs up here. It definitely doesn't look super nasty. 4 hour looks okay. 1 hour looks. It's actually one of the only clean 1 hours I've seen with this week's events. 5 minute and 1 minute are kind of non-important to this question, but looks okay for the end of the day to stay alive. I don't think it'll be crashing down in the next 30 minutes, though I could be wrong. It is micro levels.
Also, Swips.
Yeah.
If people held on to CZR, that thing has made money at this point. By the way, it's crazy.
Yeah, I noticed. I held on to the WH, but not Caesar Entertainment. I closed out that one. I think I closed Caesars at break even. I lost like $6 on that play.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. All right,
Yeah, I think
so
this just had a little bad dip. It's looking for a little more upside now.
yeah.
That's my thoughts there.
All right, SPX time. We got the last few minutes of the day coming up. I will keep my eyes on any buzzers for ER, and then that'll be our stream for the day. I think we've had almost a 3-hour stream today, if I'm not mistaken, which is great. So
Plenty of stuff to be gained from it, I'm sure. I
yeah,
have
it's
definitely
going on.
started a little rough with my crash course because
That's
it's been
okay.
so long since I was even
No,
drawing.
you
Like
you're
it
good.
happens automatically for me, so it's like weird now to try and like break it down because I have to slow my brain down.
You're good.
But I will when this is all when day's over. I'm gonna go ahead and send one of the old lessons that I've written up for like the basic charting. So you guys will have access to that. I'm sure Jay-Z will stick it in a channel somewhere, and I'll also personally send it straight to you, Swips, because I know you wanted it.
So you slain for we want more, he said.
Too long, and I've not had my drink in like 45 minutes. This Red Bull is lukewarm now.
Lukewarm.
All right, what do we got going? That one right there might have caught my ass. I'm glad I wasn't looking when that one came through. All right, this is bigger than it's supposed to be. Why? Oh no, it's not. It's just taller than it's supposed to be. I need my exchanges down here. Yeah, so this here is the typical scalping setup for me, for those that are still here. I honestly don't know if I'm going to take something today. It looks like they might just want to consolidate. I always like to push somewhere, though. It's rare that they stay within a range that you can't play something. They're sitting right under the 50 on the 5. It would not surprise me to see 622 break out and go for like mid 623, 624 by EOD. Is there any good news happening or anything? Interesting. There's nothing too crazy going on here in the news, doesn't look like. Really, the Discord news flow is better anyway than TOS's, but it is nice to pop that open now and then. That's a lot of cells. No one's fine. Let's up these sizes. Let's look for some big stuff. I don't need the little flow.
I'm
Yeah, I guess I should
I'm
probably break.
seeing some China flow coming in, so maybe that might be some news over the weekend. Just an FYI. I did see some earlier. We had some PDDs. We had some. What else that came? I did see a few. What was it? Baba? What came in? Some smaller
Quick all in
ADR.
on XPEV.
What?
It's quick all in on XPEV.
Oh my
I really
god.
don't do that. I have no idea where their stock is. I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, so we'll see how that works. Some 120 on Baba for next week too. So it's like here and there's a couple things that came in. Nothing crazy, but just to keep eyes open, you know.
Interesting. Sell side though. So, oh right, I just turned off my bid and asked for this one. Yeah, I guess while I'm sitting here just kind of waiting for something to happen, I'll break down what we're looking at here for those that are unfamiliar. So what I'm looking at, we've got a SPY chart over here with an SPX chart over here, which is pretty much just here so I can see the strike price in relation to what's going on over here since I'm trading SPX and not SPY. However, SPX has nowhere near as good of actual chart to look at since they don't track the after hours and they don't track the so yeah, chart SPY, trade SPX. That being said, this whole left side of my screen from the split here over is all related to SPY shares. So you've got the chart for SPY, you've got both exchanges and their sizes, and you've got all time and sales, every single order that comes through. Right now I have it set to only show 500 shares or more, but you can put it to where you see every single order by the second that comes in. But obviously with SPY, you're gonna have hundreds of orders per second, so it's a little bit noisy when you do that.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a 60 that is closing. The mid and bids are coming in for the 60. By the way, Swift. So I have a feeling it might be the puts might be getting closed or rolled. Let me double check. It is a long iron condor. So I think we know that yesterday. We got the 66 and the 70s and the 60 and the 64, right? Yeah, same counts as. I mean, again, W is something that I'm not gonna touch just because there's too much uncertainty, right? Even if it goes up, doesn't matter to me. It's just uncertain, and I'm not about that uncertainty. So
Where's my phone?
I did see a good amount of TRON coming in for cheap, with it being 225% out of the money for next week. Kinda sus, but it's also like holy moly, it's 225% out of the money. They're down 10% for the day. Are they expecting some crazy news? Are they like closing out some positions? I don't know. Yeah, I just saw the on puts come in as well. I'm just gonna stay away from on. Just because I'm not. Earlier, I was not super confident. They're 11% multis, by the way. So just a heads up, if you click those puts, they are multis. So I'm just slide away from that one real quickly.
Too interesting. 117 at 250. A couple minutes ago now, and that guy is hurting if that was a buy. There we go. What am I looking at puts, right? Yeah. $1 out puts. So if I were to buy this, I'd be basically targeting 620.50. That's interesting. What is the actual company? What do they do? Okay, well then. Everybody that would pay is probably just on UNH.
When is ER Swift for for WAT?
Pre-market Monday.
Oh really? Is there any flow that
Yeah,
came
I'm
in
just
at all?
looking. No, it's dead.
Yeah.
It's literally dead. Like your highest OI contract is like 500 contract.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think I'm a hard pass on that one. Sometimes it just ain't worth it, man. It just ain't worth it.
It's looking like it's about to be me today with this SPX. The 1 minute, it keeps looking like it wants to beat the 200 and break out, but really it's just super hard consolidation now. They're about to have all the MAs at the same spot on a 1 minute chart.
You don't have to take a trade if you don't need to take a trade. Like that's
Yeah,
just
exactly. I
yeah.
might just sit hands today. We'll see. And right now I got puts pulled up. It's looking more and more like they might want to do calls though if they're gonna go for an EOD burst. But at the same time, I don't know. They're just kind of sitting there lacking.
It's a lot of volume
No.
for Tron. What is going on with this stock? You want to take a peek real quickly, Pat, of that TRON?
Yeah, I was just about to say, you want me to look at it? It's not
Yeah.
anything crazy going on over here on Spine. Even if it was,
25 C's getting smacked for 4,000 volume and has an IV of 300%, by the way, which is absolutely
TRON?
which is absolutely bonkers for the stock being down 10%, right?
Yeah. All right, let's take a look here.
This might be a crazy mover if it does move.
Downsize this a little so we can all see. All right. Weekly time frame, all of the weekly. Thank you. I don't even know why I did that because I know this is a stock.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna go 3 for 3 on not doing it.
Fair enough.
With a big pass.
Fair enough.
The 2 times I didn't check, both of them I should have done it. So. Alright, so basically nothing, and a big explosion, which is when I probably first heard about it. And I'm just kind of waiting on the weekly to catch up since then. which it is now kind of there. Let's see what the daily's got for us.
Somebody spent a lot of money on that flow for it being a low market cap stock. So it's just like
Was
I'm like
it calls?
calls, yeah, heavy calls. I have. I mean, it's down 10% right now. ER is expected on 811. Expected move is 23%. But this person bought 815, 25 calls, 229% of the money, and it's 4,300 volume on that at a .10 average, right? But here's my thing, right? There's also the possibility that it's a no side or a multi at some point. I will not know till on Monday, but the volume 30 average is above 1 now too, so it's also interesting. The market cap on this specific stock is only 41 million. So when you have a premium of 44,000 go into a specific contract, that's kind of really either someone's just really being a DJ at this point, or like there's somebody knows.
Isn't that a SPAC? So maybe they're gonna have an acquisition news
Yeah,
over the weekend or something.
yeah,
So I mean, it's a SPAC, right? So I don't know, shady shit.
I might just grab a couple just for the heck of it because why not?
Yeah, so for Tron, for me, I mean it looks like we've got some 6.5 support. Since the burst, that's where they're really looking at the downside. And as far as purchasing heavy calls here, it's not terrible because there's some support on the wicks here at like 720 ish. Let me zoom in a little bit real quick. What's 750 look like?
I mean,
Yeah,
the IV is
750 works.
300%, man, which is insane.
It smoked all of its MAs here on the 4 hour and whatnot, but they're still good on the daily and the weekly. And as far as this big section they've got, 750 on the, was it 4 hour? Yeah. 750 does have, if you're looking over here in this big area of concentration, there's a good bit of notch right on it. So he could be looking for just bounce off of a flat level 7.5.
Yeah, but 226%, 229% out of the money, though. You know what I mean? Like you're like
Wait,
you're
what's
at,
the strike on it?
it's 25.
What the?
That's what
Wait,
I'm.
how much time is on it?
815, which is 2 weeks.
Dog, what?
Yeah, so
That
that
might
is
that's somebody who knows something or an absolute degenerate, and there's
yeah,
no
it's
between.
$40,000 in premium, right? So like Sips is saying, it's a SPAC, right? So maybe an acquisition news or something like that. I really don't understand what the plan is, but I mean I've seen stocks do 100% before, right? So I mean I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've seen crazier things, but that's definitely a wild piece of flow.
Yeah, I don't know. I've also seen Tron trickling in within the last like
I think Spy
days.
just did that move up I was talking about because these cons just lost all the sauce in 20 seconds.
Oh,
It looks 2250. I'm just gonna scoot on over there real quick and take a look at that 5 minute, see if it's doing as expected.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, she's finally going for it, but she's still. I don't know. I mean, I guess the call side probably could have made some money, but this type of scenario where really I might fuck around and buy the short now for 40, $30. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna sit on my hands today. I already had a really good week. And that's strong too for the calls. All right. Okay, so let me see the 1 minute. Was it a scalpable breakout? That was nice and easy for me. Nah, that was so messy. I probably would have not even been taking that until like up here, and by then now I'd be scared because of the movement.
Fair enough.
This is an uncomfortable spot. There's definitely a move there. My instinct of up was correct, but it's just there's so much on top of it. That's not the safest play. And when you're playing SPX and literally 5 seconds is the difference between up 100% and your whole position is nuked, that's not a scenario I like.
Yeah, I understand that
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
not 100% certain, but definitely, yeah. Yeah, Great Dane has entered the building. He just returned home.
Nice.
But
Oh, stream paused.
yeah, there's these cons just got absolutely smoked. There's no volume on it either, so that means that nobody got out, really. I think they all just got crushed there. Yeah, time and it was literally somebody got filled for 140, 130, 120, 120, and then the next fill was $8.
It's crazy.
Jeez. I'm glad I wasn't a part of those shorts. And there's the double top. Can they break it? Use the call equivalent. Options SPX. Give me a 42.50 is too close. That's like 50 cents out of it. Now it's 25 cents. Alright, I'll look at this one. No, it's downsized to 1 because I'll be damned if I accidentally buy like 2 or 3 or something. These kind of prices. Oh wow, this one's been everywhere in the last couple minutes. You see 300 fills, almost 400 fills. See 160s a minute later.
Jesus.
And then another minute later, back to 350. Yeah, it's SPX EOD is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit on my hands here, honestly. I don't know. I just haven't. See, the thing is, like, normally, if we weren't streaming and whatnot, and then again, Jay-Z did mention it many times, I could have taken my exit and said, alright, guys, we're done. But, again, day and the week has gone for me. I didn't think I was going to trade anyway. But typically, I'll be watching SPY from about 2 o'clock forward, so that way, by the end of the day, I have a really good idea of what the market's feeling. And you see, if you're trading this every single second, watching the orders come in, you're gonna know, oh yeah, it slows down at 622. Oh, it's picking up down here. You can look in past tense, but you don't really know how the orders went unless you were there. You can only assume. And in a situation like that, at least with SPX, I don't like to assume. Maybe we could like load on 2 or 3 spies, 0 DTE, and try to scalp those out for some percentage gains. But actual capital gains, they're gonna come out of SPX, and you don't want to play those if you're not pretty certain.
Interesting.
Pullback is real. Will they bounce? So right here, I would honestly maybe consider a short entry if they can confirm under this, because on SPX, 50 cents that's enough room. You make plenty in that. Just from this 9 to this 50 is definitely space to make a play. But I'd want to wait for the next candle, and then really it's still a risk. Ooh, wow, they they did that up. That's disgusting. I need the full info. Give me all my stats. Alright.
Oh yeah, that dropped.
Yeah, there wasn't even much room to look for it.
Yeah, that was a quick in and out for the most part.
Nice. Yeah, I might just sit my hands here. The premiums are all over, and SPY itself is kind of all over. There was definitely a move there. I probably should have been in that long play that I was originally looking at, because I assumed the 5-minute filled damn near perfect. Surprise, surprise, perfect 100 tap.
Yeah.
Oh well, I missed the initial entry, and I'm sure as hell ain't chasing an SPX anywhere.
Yeah, SPX is not the thing to chase.
You could chase around SPY a little bit because it's not that nasty, but like
SPX will end your existence. I mean, it was a perfect reject.
I wonder how that just did.
It was a perfect reject off the 622.
Sure was.
Broke down through that VWAP, which is at a 622.30, 622. What is it? 622.31 on the 5, and it's about to go touch bottom VWAP. If that's the case. If not, I'll just chop for the next 5 minutes until we close, right? So
it was 62.35. I was looking at. Let's see how that did. Initial. Did I pull up the call? No, I pulled the put. Oh yeah, okay. So that's where it started getting smoked. And then if I had stayed looking at that short instead of starting to look at calls, we had a low of $70 a piece, and they are currently trading at 450-ish,
Jesus,
430
wow, yeah, that's crazy.
in in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
$70
To $400.
by then.
Yeah.
They were $200 by the next minute. It's the options are speedy quick on SPX, so there's not really room for mistakes. And me trading these for years is why I have that mentality we were discussing earlier. I'm not staying in anything. I'm in and out as fast as the minute I see something like, oh, I'll just sell it. It's fine, I can buy it again, but I'm not gonna hold it and lose.
Yeah.
And if I buy it and I immediately start losing, guess what? I'm out immediately.
brought that
Don't care.
9,
It might
though.
even bounce right back, but I'm not gonna lose unless there's no avoiding it. Besides the flash candle, I got no reason to sit there and watch my stuff go red. SPY, I'll do it. SPX, never. I refuse to watch it go red. Can't do it. Lost too many times.
I have a feeling that right around here we might get a drop down the last 5. Because it just broke below the VWAP, so we might get a push downwards. I don't know.
1 minute levels just got tested again.
Yeah.
Bouncing the 200 so far. But it didn't beat the 9. Yeah, it's really volatile. If I was like fully locked in, this might be a great time for me. Because with this setup over here, I never actually got to the other half. We started talking about charts. But these over here, it's all options chain. So you have whatever option you're looking at. If I want to buy one, I just click here and I buy it. I'm in immediately. And it's honestly even easier up here. You just buy market, sell market. However many you want. You want to buy them in 10s, 30s, 100s, whatever. Or you could custom set them. Like 2 or 3. These Jones are expensive. But yeah, you got all that here. Obviously, you got your level 2 for the option you're looking at, and then you have all of the sales that come through on it. So that's very handy to be able to see, like, oh, volume uptick. Who bought it? Oh, somebody bought 75 for 50. Okay, maybe I want to follow that guy. Click. Oh, turn and click. Just like that, my trade is done. Yeah, so this setup here is fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's very simple, but it gives me all the data that I have. Ticker stuff on the left, option stuff on the right, general overview stuff all the way to the left. No, they bounced that 200 pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
Soon 5 minutes getting tested again.
Yeah, I think this is
yeah.
This is not a typical last 5 minutes though. I feel like last 5 minutes normally is just there's a lot more quote unquote more volatility. I feel like, but
yeah, we got volume, but it's just consolidating.
Yeah, it's just,
and rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Huge move. It's a Friday, and we're sitting right on that 4-hour support, which hasn't been touched since.
Which is why Fridays are sometimes the best to do some of these things, because that way you don't miss much, right? If it's another trading day, you might miss a lot. So
precisely. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit hands here. I can maybe throw it over on a paper trading account and do some really degenerate stuff just to laugh at, but
yeah, why not?
I don't think I'm gonna be trading.
I'll put on a paper account, do some degen stuff. Might as well.
Yeah, and then it hurts the brain sometimes. You start to see stuff like that. Oh, I could have just done that for real. Then you go to do it the next day and
get wrecked. Yeah, absolutely destroyed.
I actually don't even know how to flip over to paper on this thing. I have to log all the way out and in. I know I can get to the on-demand really easy. Well, just on desktop. Yes, thank you. I know how on-demand works. It's amazing. Thanks. I know. They're still giving me real time. Nice. I guess so. On-demand can just be paper trading like that as well. Gotta reboot everything now. I regret it. Bring me back to regular. I'm not doing this. My whole computer turned on every fan, started trying to regenerate every piece of market data. I was like, hold on, don't do that.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I think the next time we do one of these, though, I am going to go ahead and pop up the on-demand thing, and we'll do some speculative stuff.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Maybe Fridays. We'll see how the week goes, and maybe a Friday again. We can reconvene on Friday.
Whenever there's a good slow day for it, or just something in the middle of the day. As you know, I normally trade morning session and end session. I don't like to get too much in the middle because it's almost always just data burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy degen paper trading stream. That's what we need.
Crazy degen paper trading. That's funny, dude. Oh man.
Ooh, that red just hit the tape right there. That's interesting. Yep. 5-minute rejected again. It's just gonna sit here and consolidate. That's their last minute. That's what they're doing. They're squeezing out the rest of the premium that's left over from that big day.
Kind of throws on with the weekend hold, so pretty good.
It's probably the first Friday I haven't traded in like 2 months. Normally Friday is one of the days I do trade. It's like Wednesday. I'll take off or
Nice.
something.
I just took a 20% on SPX.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I haven't looked at this shit the rest of the day. I was so busy at work.
Yeah, that was mine. That was my end of the day play. That's good.
Wow. Look, even in these last minutes, these SPX cons, whatever we're looking at, the puts at 58, somebody bought 10 of them for 37. At 59, in the same amount of seconds, somebody sold 10 of them for $110. And now they're $13. And now the day's over.
Don't out me like that. Stop it.
I'm telling you, man, it's really like SPX is playable right up to the very last second.
Yeah.
There is always money to be made in an SPX lotto. There's also always money to be lost.
That bailout TOS scares me to
Yeah,
death.
sorry for the ear rape, guys. That is the bell is always laudable here.
All right, I think that's probably all she wrote for the stream, guys. Honestly, we had a really good.
I'm not gonna be doing any futures trading today, guys.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No,
Pass it over to Dan, maybe.
I think that's a good one. Pratt, appreciate the whole charting session you gave us. That was,
I'm always down to come in.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
definitely
looking for the
not.
mind of a DGen.
But hope people learned a lot. That was the whole point of this, right? For you guys to be able to learn something out of it. We'll definitely do more of these. I'm hoping to get more people involved in different departments and stuff. That way, you guys have a little bit more variety going on, right? Not just flow stuff, right? Flow gets boring after a while. As somebody said, I yawn too much apparently because I'm half asleep half the time because I don't sleep much. So just FYI, I do apologize for the yawning. It's just a lot of back end work I gotta do at nights and stuff with filters because that's the only time I really get to do it and change stuff up and do stuff. So.
We sleep a good 4 hours a day. I live on 3 Red Bulls
Dude,
a day.
last night I was talking to Wogley, and at 3 a.m. I woke up and I was like, oh, let me get my laptop real quickly and do a new filter. So I made a new filter last night, so I'm testing that now. But yeah, that's my brain, how that works. I'll have dreams about making filters and flows, which is kind of weird. But other than that, I think, guys, that wraps it up. Hope you guys had a good day. Please have a good weekend. Make sure you guys spend some time with family and go touch some grass. We work hard.
Yeah, right.
Everybody works hard. You know, it's important to take some time to do some fun stuff with everybody, right? So take some time to do all that. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can always reach out to any of us. We're always there to help out. So. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day.
DMs are always open if anybody has any further questions.
And that'll
Cheers
be...
for the stream, guys.
Yeah, already.
Thanks
welcome.
for your time, Pat.
Of course.
And I'll make sure I get that sent over to you, Swips. I just got to go through my phone and find it and probably go eat something real quick. But you'll have it by end of tonight.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Or I guess
sure.
this morning for you.
Cheers to Jay-Z for getting it rolling.
Of course. Anytime. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Take care.
Hey, go right ahead, man.
Yeah.